Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
Bob, we've got a job.
Good. KZ Excellent.
Catchphrase.
And Mr. Feel.
Yeah, but dabba do.
Here on GigaBoots. The Steam Deck has arrived.
Whoa!
Mine specifically.
Oh. I thought I'd just get one for free.
No. This cost me $530 before taxes. I got the second grade. The second grade gets you any storage. Because the lowest level Steam Deck, for anyone who doesn't know, it doesn't have an SSD in it. It just has an SD card slot and an internal SD card, which has 64 gigs on it, which is nothing.
Half of one game.
So $530, we get the 256 gigabyte NVMe SSD, and we get exclusive Steam Community Profile bundle.
Yo!
And I think if we got the absolute top end, the weird thing is the text that popped up made it sound like I got this, but I certainly didn't because it's only with the top end one, right?
Okay.
But if we got that one, we would have gotten exclusive virtual keyboard theme. Because you know how we have the keyboard, right?
Yeah.
Well, we would have gotten a special, better looking keyboard if we got the $650 edition.
Would the keyboard work more frequently if we had that?
It would work as well as it always does.
Okay.
No, what does that mean?
So we did a whole stream. It was supposed to be a baby stream, but the fascination of the Steam Deck is deep and immense. And the people who've covered it so far, I've found lacking. So we did an 8-hour stream where we tried to play a number of games. Bob, I have not done the math on how many games worked, but if you were to roughly shoot from the hip and give a percent.
Like 100% worked? Or we had to do some fiddling and then they worked?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. Let's say it just worked. Like, no fiddling, no command line shit, no forcing specific protons.
I feel like maybe 60% of them worked.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that's about right. That is, of course, us not trying to boot that many things that were unsupported. For people who don't know, let me put the frame. By the way, I'm sorry if you hear the fan from the Steam Deck in this podcast. The fan turns on when you do anything. Like if you download especially, it kicks to the highest speed possible. But I'm going to check real quick. We're going to get some maths real quick on exactly how many of the games I have access to are compatible. Because I don't want to exaggerate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I'm interested. I assume you own many games.
I have access to right now 501 games.
Woo!
Okay, we're going to filter for verified, as in this will 100% work on the Steam Deck. Except for that one we booted that didn't.
Yeah.
It's okay. After we reset the Steam Deck, it then worked.
Yes, the second time it worked. So out of 501 games, 84 of them are verified to work. That is under 20%. Then we go to verified and playable. For anyone who's curious what verified and playable means, that means it might require you to use the touchscreen in a way that kind of sucks. Like very small clickable boxes that you need to use the mouse for. So you use the touchscreen or the touchpads. It might have text that's really, really small. It might require you to know the command to bring up the on-screen keyboard, which is holding the Steam button and hitting X, which is in the square slot. It's the same arrangement as the 360, controlling the Xbox stuff. So verified and playable is at 146, and we didn't have a perfect track record with those either. A couple of those games just didn't work. Either well or like until we did a thing. I have to say this real quick. For anyone who's expecting this to be like a PC but portable, no, it's trickier than that. It's less compatible than that. It's much more like Linux but portable, right? It is a Linux gaming PC with Wine or using Proton as a layer on it to play games you already own, but portable. So this isn't the same as PC gaming. I would honestly say from a console gamer perspective, it's worse because I'm holding this portable and I want to boot a game. And we went through a lot trying to get various games to work. In order to try to get a game to work if it doesn't at first, you go over to the properties, select properties from that. You go down to compatibility. And I wish I could easily show you guys, but there is a menu that's like, force it to use this compatibility layer. And when you hit that option, it pops up with what I believe is 11 different versions of Proton. And so you can just shoot from the hip and try 11 different versions of Proton to get your game to boot.
Just hope.
Yeah. Proton's pretty cool in and of itself, but the Steam Deck OS being there adds another layer to it that can get finicky. For example, Sonic 4 Episode 1 needs Java. I can't install Java from inside Steam Deck OS. So I need to use it as a desktop PC for Linux, and hopefully installing it there in that OS by booting into that mode, I might be able to get things that are like that to work. I don't know if I'll be able to, honestly.
Sometimes it's really weird because, like, you have to do that sort of thing for PhysX, and it works.
Yeah, weirdly enough, it popped up with, like, what you think of as standard Windows pop-up screens, right? For PhysX, you know, the NVIDIA Physics API. And for some reason, that worked perfectly fine. Like Proton, the Steam Deck, it all worked to make it install and actually operate, which is insane. You would not expect that to work, but it actually does some of the time. But this is a really weird experience. From a compatibility layer, it's safer to assume a game, like statistically speaking, based on the numbers we just gave and how our stream went, it's probably safer to assume a game you want to play on it might not work than to assume it would work. This only gets weirder because in my specific situation, in the weirdest twist of fate ever, Mighty Number 9 doesn't work on my Steam Deck alone. I had 2 other people with Steam Decks verify it works fine on theirs.
That's insane.
It literally works fine on their machine.
The whole point of
it really is a PC.
Yeah, it's supposed to be more standardized, and yet.
Yeah, I mean, they all have the same hardware, right? There's not anything weird. I set up every option exactly as they did. I even rebooted. I switched accounts. I did all sorts of things. I turned off save cloud saves. I turned off DLCs. I turned on all the DLCs. I re-downloaded it every time. Nothing. Does not work. I have no earthly idea why this might be. But so getting past that of things, you know, may just not work in your library. Statistically speaking, probably won't. Like there are numerous games that are just flat out unsupported. Some of that may be because they use codecs that are Windows exclusive, in which case people have already told me there's a solution. You can go to the desktop environment and install a thing called Proton Up, I believe, which installs Proton QT or Proton GE is the actual community effort. That's the special version of Proton that is paralegal, one might say. It works around the law in a way that the official release couldn't, in order to integrate those Windows codecs. So that should help games like, you know, Ys Origin play their cutscenes correctly. And various other things like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised by how many games we run into where it's like, yeah, the cutscenes don't play.
Yeah, that happened a lot. Was Ninja Blade one of those? I think
yes.
Ninja Blade. Yeah, Ninja Blade was one of those. Maybe that Proton GE or whatever would actually help that. I don't know. I tried to use it as a Steam Deck alone.
Right, you want to just check, since this is a consumer product, you want to see what is being sold to the consumer.
Yeah, what the normal experience of using the damn Steam OS and trying to download and play the games you want is like. Some games I was surprised that booted. Like Reciteer booted, but it had no sound.
Yeah.
We didn't try 7 different versions of Proton to see if one of them worked. Story of Seasons booted to a cow error message and then crashed.
Yeah, it was like a cursed cow image. It was really weird.
Ys Origin was fine when we used very specifically, let me see if this option is still forced in the compatibility stuff, Proton 4.2-9, but then it couldn't play the videos. But at least we could play Ys Origin on it. It's really weird. It's really, really weird. I had to put command prompt shit in, like launch commands. Because, you know, just like in proper PC Steam, you can add advanced launch options where you type in text commands. I had to insert like, let's say 50 characters or so, and that would make Nex Machina work. But it worked. And once I nerfed the hell out of the graphics, it actually ran pretty smooth, but not smooth enough. Performance-wise, this can be neat, but it can also be terrible. For example, Quantum Break, that's running off the Northlight engine. That's from Remedy for anyone who forgot, the people who made Control and Max Payne. Quantum Break, we nerfed the hell out of its graphics, which made us see a really poorly modeled Lance Reddick.
Always exciting.
Let's go.
I was like, God, I forgot he's in this game. But it almost ran stable at that point. It almost ran at a locked 30. But then things like Doom Eternal runs 60. Doom Eternal looks amazing. Doom Eternal is the killer app for the Steam Deck.
Nice.
It is truly something to see Steam Eternal running like that. And so like performance, it can be a little bit all over the place.
I'm trying to remember the really, really low grade.
Wasn't it Momodora?
Momodora, yeah, Reverie of the Moonlight.
Yeah.
Did not run right. It chugged like crazy.
Yeah, for some reason Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight did not run right. It could not lock 60. One of the neatest things about this OS, and something I wish consoles did, frankly, is you have a pop-up option, because there's the lower left button, which is Steam, and the lower right button, which is an ellipses. Anyways.
Tells you so much about what it does, right?
Right. It might as well say etc. You pop that up and you can actually limit the frame rate. So you can force a 15 frame per second cap, a 30 frame per second 60, or just uncap it. And I'm like, that'd be kind of nice. That'd be kind of preferable over what Sony's done in the past of forcing a triple buffer VSync. Because guys, this actually fixed FromSoft's Ninja Blade. Because you know how they can't do frame rate caps, right?
They can't figure it out. It's a mystery. No one's ever done it.
When we enforced it at the Steam OS level, it was perfect. Then we forced it to lock at 60 and it ran correctly, and we were just mind blown. I was like, I've never seen this game run smoothly. This is so unsettling. Because it's a FromSoft game. It is so fucking Dark Souls looking. Like the way movement and animation looks. Like that's not supposed to run smooth. That's incorrect. That's false. You've lied to me. So that's a really neat feature, and there are some really neat features in here. And I think for a number of people, like a certain niche of people who understand what I'm trying to say, of like, this isn't as compatible as a PC. Do not expect to come in here and play even the majority of your games. But for some people who want to like do the research and the time to make sure it works, then it might be an okay way to play these games. Because there are two more caveats.
Yeah, I was going to say, this does seem like beyond enthusiast. This is
super enthusiast.
Yeah, super enthusiasts who just, in more than playing the game, like messing with it and trying to get it to work.
Right.
Like, I know that's actually a group of people.
Yes. Linux users are everywhere. There are dozens of them. If you're gratified by having to earn your game launching,
yes. This is a console for you.
This is literally for you. But I was going to say the two caveats real quick. I don't think the screen's great. It's an LCD screen. It's only 60 hertz. The pixel response time's bad looking. Maybe I got too used to my high refresh rate monitor, But I don't think that's the case. I think it really is just a bad pixel response time. So,
like, I typically have been using like that Dell monitor that's 60 hertz for years.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't high refresh rate. The pixel response time's way better.
So for anyone who doesn't understand technical stuff on monitors, what that means is it takes longer for the pixels to change to the color they're supposed to be. And what this causes is for dark areas to smear really bad. Like, people often call this sort of thing ghosting. So yeah, in a lot of 2D games and even darker 3D games, you get a lot of smearing that kind of looks bad.
Yeah, every time we moved in Ys Origin, because the background is like a fine mesh, like a texture you're walking around.
Yeah, it's like gray bricks with black line details in them.
Yeah, I thought the game was actually dropping frames, but no, it's just, the pixel response time makes it look like a weird mess.
Yeah, it kind of becomes mushy and doesn't look right. So I don't love the screen. The colors and brightness of the screen are perfectly fine, but the pixel response time looks really bad. So, and this isn't like, well, yeah, that's because you used to. No, the Switch normal one's better.
Yeah, 100%.
You need to understand what I'm trying to say here. Though it is a larger screen than the Switch's, it does not look as nice. It's a slightly higher res. It's 1280 by 800, so you get 80 vertical pixels.
Woo!
You're
That'll
right.
change your life, right?
That changes everything. So that's caveat one. Caveat number two, and this one's really important. I don't think the interface, the sticks, the buttons, the D-pad, the triggers especially, are good enough to be sufficient. I think they're really bad. I think most of the first parties have good controllers. They either get B's or A's for me. This is a real C grade controller interface, and that's rough because it's attached to it. Like technically, yes, you can hook up a DualSense or any other Bluetooth controller to it, but it doesn't have a kickstand. So you can't prop it up while you use it like you would a Switch like that, right?
Oh.
Yeah, and the sticks don't feel great. They're a little bit more forgivable. The L2 and R2 are kind of like smushy and weird, like kind of like the Luna controller, where it's just there's no resistance at all, and then you hit the bottom.
Yeah.
And then the face buttons is the D-pad, and the D-pad's probably better than the normal face buttons. They're just kind of smushy. They could be clickier, they could be more responsive. I think every modern controller is better than this, which is a shame because it's a portable and it's attached to it permanently.
Yeah, I'm like even the Joy-Cons feel better, which is insane. Like we talk about how bad the Joy-Cons are all the time.
Yeah.
I'd rather use them any day.
Yeah, which is a shame because this has full-size sticks and they have the is it concave? Yes, the concave design on this.
Yeah.
Whereas the Switch has the outward bending ones for the Joy-Cons. Yeah, so there's that. There's the touchscreen. The one of the things they did for compatibility's sake, and part of the reason why this layout is so weird as it is, I think, is they have two squares, which you can see, like I'm sure coverage is shown in people who know what the Steam Deck is, realize what I'm talking about. They are basically touchpads like you would get on a laptop, but they're sticking out a bit and they can click in. And those work as like mice in a PC game. So that way you can play more games on this than you would expect. It's really unfortunate that so much of the surface area is taken up by that. I totally understand it. And for what this is, I think they made the right choice. Because there are a number of games you would want to play where, once again, it has no kickstand. So do you really want to be using the touchscreen? Also, the thing's giant. It makes the Wii U gamepad kind of like it's bigger than that.
Yeah, a lot bigger.
It's much heavier too, of course.
Yeah, it was like when I was thinking about it, I was like, you only need one of those touchpads, but maybe the left one is for left-handed people. I don't know. Like, if you were to use that like that with your thumb, would you use it with your left hand if you're left-handed? I'm not sure.
I think it would really depend on the game. One of the areas where it makes sense kind of to have both is when you pop up with the virtual keyboard, the left touchpad is aligned for the left half of the keyboard, and the right touchpad is aligned for the right half, where you get a cursor that goes over it. And as you slide over those buttons, you actually feel like a click as it goes in between them. It kind of has a haptic feedback like the DualSense or the Switch Pro controller, but it's not quite as sharp. It's kind of like a looser feeling version of that, basically. And they put the rumble directly under the touchpad, so that way, if any game rumbles, it feels like it's coming from there instead of deeper in it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad we got to check it out. Not too many outlets do we're going to play a ton of games and see how it works out sort of thing. They do a lot of greatest hits sort of coverage.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think that's a good idea for something where, I have 512 games here. I think my personal library, because I think it's combining mine and Bob's, I think my personal library, it says 512 games on that screen. And then this other one, because there are multiple really bizarre menus in this, I can't even begin to describe.
Yes. There's like your game library, then your fake game library.
Yes. Yeah, he's not even exaggerating. That's how it feels to go through. But one of them says 512, the other one says 501. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. But it's combining our total Steam libraries. And, 501 Steam's games sounds like a lot, but when you're talking like Steam, some people's Steam libraries are way larger than that.
Yeah.
So I really don't know that. Like, if people understand this is more of like a hobbyist thing, right? Mm-hmm. This isn't comparable to a Switch.
Yeah, no world.
That's not how you should think about this. This is not what you should expect from this. You'll run into games that just don't run. If Sony announced a PlayStation 4 portable and they said it plays PS4 games, and then only about 12% of them or 15% of them worked, people would have a riot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm stuck in an infinite loop menu. Bob, check this out.
Okay. Oh, that happened to me earlier when you handed it to me.
What? How do I escape?
I don't know.
Did you just turn it off?
Eventually, it eventually let me out. It just did.
It got bored. It got sick of torturing me. It's like, okay, I guess you can go now. You did your time.
Dan's like, I'm gonna talk in this podcast, but the Steam Deck I just got. Meanwhile, it's just gonna brick live.
That would be really funny. It's like, I can't play Mighty Number 9. Why do I exist? And then it bricks. Yeah, I'm stuck in this menu now.
just reset it, Dan.
I am.
Okay.
It's the only option.
Welcome to a factory reset on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. Weird thing about it, though, that frame cap thing I was talking about, right?
Uh-huh.
In the normal release of the Steam Deck OS, because you can opt in either the stable release or the beta, the stable release, the uncapped option doesn't exist because Gamers Nexus did their battery test. And then every website ran without any context. Guys, the Steam Deck only runs for an hour and 30 minutes. It's like they were running games uncapped to tax it even more. Like, you would normally just keep it capped at 60. Why did you run this article without those details? And they're like, for clicks.
What was that?
That was it booting. It makes that vibration / sound when it boots. Yeah, Bob booted it on the stream, and he's like, I don't know if anyone would ever want it to do this. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I was also using the keyboard. You're talking about how it has that cool rumble back feedback when you're using the touchpads.
When you're using the touchpads, yes. When you're using the touchscreen, seemingly no.
When you use the touchscreen, it still does that, but you can't tell because they're under the touchpads. You're touching the screen.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's really fair. Bizarre.
So overall, this thing has been kind of disappointing. Out of the first several games I tried to boot, none of them, I think 2 worked, and I was really bummed out by that. Eventually, some of them I got to work to some extent, requiring reboots some of the time to actually work per individual game. It's a little rough, is what I'm trying to get across. And currently, the most compatible Proton is the one that's labeled experimental. So by default, your Steam Deck doesn't use the most compatible mode because that's not a stable release yet, supposedly. It's all sorts of weird. I don't know what else to say about it, Bob. Do you have any other comments, any other ideas?
Not particularly. I was going to say, I can switch between the Xbox and the PlayStation controller stick configuration really easily. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
This is a really bad placement for that stick. Like, that's the worst left-handed stick I've ever used.
Yeah, well, because like on the Wii U gamepad, they actually put the sticks default where your thumb is going straight up.
Yes.
On this, they make you bend in directly to the right, not down to the right, like PlayStation, just directly to the right. Yeah, I think you're totally right on that. Like, when I hit up, it kind of feels, and I have giant hands.
Mm-hmm.
When I hit up the way I would hit up on any other controller, it feels like I'm kind of pushing it out of my comfort zone. So to pull it back down is kind of not great.
Yeah, and it's exciting to be able to get like something this powerful portable.
Yes.
But then at the same time, it's a bummer that I've like, it can do this, but then the controls aren't good, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, and
like,
then
that shouldn't be the caveat I'm worried about.
And also, it doesn't have a kickstand.
Yeah, no kickstand is really weird too.
Like, those two are really a 1-2 hit for me because I could totally take it has bad controls. Okay, let me prop it up and sync up a controller real quick. I'm totally fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I largely used my Switch when I was working my job and played it on breaks.
Yeah, no, that's a very usable way for the Switch. Even if that kickstand's bad, it's better than having literally nothing.
Yes.
I was super surprised when he told me that. And that like, not even the case is a kickstand in its own way or anything. It's just not an option.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really bizarre. You think that would be, they know the Switch exists.
Mm-hmm.
They have to know their market. Their market, to some extent, wants a premium experience, right? That's the whole point of the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is supposed to have high performance and high everything else.
Right.
So you think they would understand, people are going to want to use controllers, and that requires stuff.
Can you imagine the third-party controller accessory for this, where it's even bigger and it adds its own controls on the next layer outside?
I want to slide it in like the Circle Pad Pro.
Yes.
That would be even wider than the GameCube keyboard controller, because this thing is already bigger than that. I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
It was incredibly heavy, but it was in a sweet spot when I held it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine it going higher though. It's like you hit the line. Don't go farther.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of neat. I still think the performance should be a little bit higher to really hit what I want. Because, as Bob said, Momodora couldn't run smoothly. I'm currently playing Pixel Junk Shooter, and it also can't run smoothly.
Yeah,
I have to nerf these graphics on a 2D shooter game and it still can't get 60. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like, it's so hit or miss. It seems almost random what it can and can't run well.
It's almost like there's some sort of interpretation layer working between the hardware and the game to even fucking run it.
No way.
I think one of the most fascinating things about this is, how PC games, of course, have the option to play in a window or play full screen? It just deals with either. Like, no matter which mode it's in, it's scaling it and putting it in the center of the screen. But constantly, when Bob and I would boot a game, the logo for the game booting would be, and I don't mean this is like an OS level thing. This is how the beginning of the game looks. It would be in a box in the corner of the screen going off the screen.
Oh.
It would just be, here's logo for company. It's melting and going off the screen. Like,
here's a quarter of this man's face. We're booting.
Like, that just happened a ton. I do appreciate that the remapping controls is really accessible once you know where it is.
It is hidden well.
Which I'm going to go over there and show KZ how to do this, because it's kind of nutty.
Okay.
Because Bob's seen it. Obviously, I can't display it for him.
I'm excited. I know nothing.
Okay, so here I am playing a game.
Okay.
Let's pretend this is Cave Story and I need to remap the controls.
Okay.
So I hit the Steam button.
All right.
Now,
a little side thing now.
You've sort of taken it in. I got these options on the side, probably settings.
Yeah.
We have these options. That's seemingly for the game. We got resume, view game details, exit game.
Mm-hmm.
What if I told you if you hit twice?
Whoa! Whoa! It revealed its secret. Okay, you need to understand, audience. You need to understand. Imagine this is an ultra wide amount of information on a wide screen. So it's like he pulled secrets from the right side.
Yeah, chat had to explain this to me because we had a number of viewers who own Steam Decks.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that in the corner, and every time I'm like, yeah, that's just some of the controls. Gotcha. How do I reach that screen? And I never thought hit right again. That's a whole screen. That's separate. They've made a 3-tiered menu that I don't, and the third tier is some fractal other menu. I don't understand.
Even the diagram looks like fucked up.
Yeah.
Like look.
Yeah, there are no lines telling you which thing goes to what. The drawing of the Steam Deck itself looks like a Wii U gamepad.
Yeah, I know. That's what was screwing. It's like a Wii U gamepad where you stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really weird. Once you know that's there, that's neat. But there's another wrinkle.
I appreciate all this knowledge.
The other wrinkle is, hey guys, so it's a portable.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't do the Xbox One plan of, oh, you're away from the internet, it can't run games. Like, thank God, right? Because they could have done that and that would have been insane.
Yeah.
However, since a lot of these games depend on community layouts for button commands to work well, I was away from the internet and tried to play a keyboard-only game, and I just couldn't do shit. Luckily, the title screen was like, press Z. And I'm like, okay, I can manually map Z to this button, but I don't know what any of the other buttons are. I need to immediately duck into the controls, look at that, Jump up into the OS, go over two screens, select controller settings, and map this one button at a time. So yeah, they should, and yeah, I've heard other people say this. They absolutely should just pre-download some of the community controller layouts. Like, they can't take up that much space. They're just button arrangements.
Yeah, it's got to be what, like 10 KB?
Yeah, it's got to be something that ludicrously small, or even smaller.
Yeah, like some like small INI file.
Yeah, I don't know. Last thing I want to talk about, they do have gyro controls for mouse controls. You can do that just like with Splatoon or something else. Just as they promised, if you take your thumb off the right analog stick, the gyro won't aim. So that way you can reset your wrist position and just simply put your thumb back on when you're in the comfortable position. This is the best I think it's ever felt, like in anything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think the gyro feels really tight. It's super responsive. You know, it being mapped to mouse movement kind of helps with that. You know, you don't have a developer working in acceleration and deceleration curves that don't make any sense for gyro.
Right.
And it's pretty great. And I wish like this was an OS level feature in, say, a PlayStation. But since their games aren't designed for mouse, it wouldn't be as easy as it is here to implement. But I think that's a really great feature. I did use it a decent bit, you know, because you can adjust the sensitivity of that independently. So I was playing Red Faction 1 with that, which is pretty fun. I don't know what else. I think that's about everything. Oh, wait, the most insane thing out of everything, possibly. So you have a game booted, but you want to play
Oh, whoa.
but you want to play another game.
Yeah.
So you hit the Steam button, you go to your library. I want to play 100% Orange Juice now that I'm, you know, I just came from Pixel Junk Shooter. I want to play 100% Orange Juice. I hit play. It pops up with a pop-up. It says running multiple games. It looks like you're currently running Pixel Junk Shooter. It is not recommended that you run multiple games at once on a Steam Deck since it can cause performance issues. Would you like to proceed? There are 3 options. Launch 100% Orange Juice anyway, meaning it will leave the original game running. Switch to Pixel Junk Shooter, so jump back to the original game, or give up on playing this new game. There is no option to close old game, open new game.
This is farcical.
bad.
I was waiting for you to reveal that one of them would be a weird way to close it.
You would hope. You would hope that would be it. So by default, I think people who mash through this would just end up booting several games and having them running at once and it eating shit.
God!
I mean, it's not just that it runs bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We had one game lock up.
Oh, yeah, and they both run at the same time. You're controlling both games at once. So I just died in Ikaruga while we booted something else.
It
doesn't pause or suspend or anything.
Yeah, this is not quick resume. This is always go.
It sounds like this wasn't ready for prime time.
So the user loop of using a Steam Deck is to boot a game, and then when you're done with that game, hit the Steam button and select to exit that game every time. So you hit to the right, hit down twice, select exit, confirm, and then you may go boot another game. Do not go directly to booting another game. That won't lead to any way for you to fix this. It's really bizarre that they had that pop-up screen, right? If they didn't have it at all, I would understand. I'd be like, well, they had nowhere to put this thing to close the old game. But they literally have that. Why is there no option to tell it, yeah, close that old fucking game? Clearly, I'm not playing it. I'm here right now trying to play this. Really bizarre. Really, really bizarre. Also worth noting, this game ate shit, or the Steam Deck ate shit trying to run El Shaddai. We could not fix performance on that.
You could not ascend to the Metatron.
We could not.
The PS3 game was too powerful.
Yeah. It's got some of that cell residue.
I can't speak to whether it was the PC version of Mega Man 11 or the Steam Deck or the buttons on the Steam Deck or whatever. I haven't really played Mega Man 11 and it feel as unresponsive as it did on this. But mostly I play on platforms that are a little bit more responsive. There's a chunk of latency here. I'm not going to say it's a deal breaker. Definitely isn't for most people. But it's noticeable, and I'm not sure why that is. What I would have liked to seen, aside from better compatibility before launching this product, which, you know, the Proton community, which is not a part of Valve, that is a separate thing and has been the whole time, is getting a lot more support because the Steam Deck exists now. And compatibility is getting better all the time. So better compatibility will come. It will never be 100%. It will never get close, I don't think. I think optimistically we'll hit 80 or something, or 90%. And that would be really cool. And that's over the course of a very long time. What I would have liked to have seen is either is an OLED, a better LCD, a variable refresh rate display, because once again, it's only a problem that these games aren't running at 60 because it's a locked 60 hertz display. If it had variable refresh rate, then it wouldn't be a problem. Like, I don't have a problem with looking at, let's say, 50, 55 hertz content if it matches the screen. What would have also been nice is, as we said, kickstand. I wish the speakers sounded better. They're not the worst, but here, we're gonna... It's
bumping.
It's okay. Like, I've heard worse, definitely. There's a good chance the Switch speakers are worse, but I haven't heard them in a while.
Dan, I don't know what you're talking about. That's way better than my monitor's speakers.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're right.
Your monitor with its built-in speakers.
Yes.
You're right. The speakers that come out of my 144 hertz monitor don't sound as good as that.
Yeah, I mean...
Those are only the worst speakers known to man.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's unfair. I'm using a flagship phone, but these speakers are worse than my phones.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, those phones actually have good speakers.
Yeah. So I wish that was better. You know, the kickstand, like I said a second ago. I wish they marketed this in a way that made it more apparent to people that it's not going to be broadly compatible, because there are a lot of people who just expect their games will work. Even I knew my games wouldn't work, but I didn't understand how many of them wouldn't work for me that I cared about. Like, Story of Seasons is by no means an intensive game. And it came out really recently. I didn't expect that to be flat out unsupported. Apparently, there's an elaborate thing I can do if I boot into the desktop mode following some webpage on the internet's instructions of very specific things to change about files and other stuff that will make it work on the Steam Deck. So what I'm saying is, this isn't PC gaming. This is Linux gaming. And that's the thing. I think if this was a Windows PC portable, then that would be better, but then that would have to get added into the cost. Also, there's the additional layer of this of, you can install Windows on this. I hear the drivers are getting better. You can't suspend it if you're in that mode. You can't use the quick wake up suspend feature. You might be able to do it at a Windows level, but it'll still be eating your energy at a higher rate than it would in the SteamOS thing. You also lose the ability to frame cap at locked 30 or whatever, and locked 60. So this is like the most complicated thing I've ever had to talk about that plays fucking video games. There's never been something
Can you solve my puzzle box?
Yeah. For some people, this is going to be really, really neat. I do not think that's most people, and I don't even think it's most people who are interested in it.
Do you think Yugi would like it?
Yes.
Okay.
He has it hanging from his neck.
Yeah, that's the only way to hold it. Come on. How are you going to transport the thing if it's not on a gold chain?
It glows
and then it breaks your neck.
Yes, it glows, and then suddenly Gabe is you.
You keep your Steam Deck around your neck, and you get thrown overboard a ship. It's over. You just sink.
That's a pretty cool Nintendo Switch you have, Yugi. That's your mistake, Kaiba. It's a Steam Deck. And the Kaiba's like, no! And then the numbers pop up. Yeah! Oh, man. But yeah, that's all I want to say about this. We might do another stream. I don't know when. I don't know what. But it seems neat, and I sure would like to put in... I would like Story of Seasons to work. Do I want to put in the effort to make it work, and will it work well once I do that? I do not know.
The answer to both of those is no. I can see the future. I can see the future, and I'm here to tell you that the answer to both of those questions is no.
Okay, that's fair. So what's up,
I'm
Bob?
trying to think how old my video card is because I saw patently better performance on basically all games on my computer than this.
This is a portable. It's by no means a beast GPU, which is another layer of this. Fun fact: it has a way better CPU than the last gen consoles.
Great,
which is fantastic. You get really good performance if you rip the SSD out and then hook up a GPU.
Oh no.
Yeah, that guy was able to increase performance by 6 to 8-fold or something by ripping the M.2 SSD out of it and then wiring a GPU directly in.
That's insane.
It's fucking hilarious.
But that's the exact kind of person this thing is for, so I
exactly.
I have to approve.
That guy ripped it apart. He's using it correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bob, your GPU is a 1050. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was a 979.
No, you have a 1000 series.
Okay,
maybe it's a 1060.
It's a 1060
because you used to have a 970. Yeah. Of course, your performance was way better than this.
Right.
As I said, it can't even run El Shaddai well.
Right. We got it around Sekiro between 50 and 60.
Yeah, Sekiro ran surprisingly well.
That's the game that got really harshly affected by the screen, I think, because that game is super dark. It's got tons of dark environments. I thought it was running worse than it was, probably because of that.
So I think the number one lesson to come out of the Steam Deck is that it fixes a lot of FromSoft games.
Yes. Yeah, we could have played that at Lock 30 pretty well. I think we tried that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We had to turn up the motion blur so it looked right.
Right.
But yeah, it felt pretty decent for a FromSoft game running at Lock 30, because they can't do that right.
Yeah.
Nothing else to mention, no high mark, okay, so how about this? Sonic Generations, Sonic Lost World, and Sonic Mania are all verified, so there you go. If you want your modern game gear, if you just want these, Sonic 4 Episode 1 doesn't work, but maybe if I boot it to the desktop and install Java. No, Phil, sometimes I want to boot a thing and get mad.
No.
What was it? Sarlene was playing Sonic 4 for her Sonic Month charity month, and I'm like, you ever get nostalgic for when you were fucking pissed? She just lost it.
Sometimes you need to watch something anymore.
Get mad. Get real mad. Get so mad it drives you mad.
It's like 100%. Yes.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Sonic 4 and basically no other video game ever. I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably madder at Sonic 4 than I am Mighty Number 9 because we're this many years on.
Right. There's a different amount of years there to get used to it.
If you're in ground zero,
I mean, it's just Sonic 4's constant cancer damage because it's called Sonic 4.
Yeah.
Mighty Number 9 isn't Mega Man 11.
caucasity of this bitch.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Got hit with that Scarlet rot.
You're just in that lake.
Yes.
You can't get out.
Bob, I can't remember. Didn't Killer's Dead work and it says it's unsupported?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we had any problems running Killer's Dead. It couldn't run at 60. We had to cap at 30.
Right.
But it seemed to run all right. Aside from that, Bob and I did what anyone should do if they find some new way to do it portably, say in a bathroom at a hotel. We played Melty Blood. It can in fact play Melty Blood Actress again.
Thank God.
So I hooked up the DualSense externally, had to play off of Bob holding the Steam Deck.
It would be so funny. It's like I tried to boot up Type Lumina, it just didn't work.
I do wonder. Because, of course, just because this works doesn't mean that'll work.
Right.
It's literally random. But yeah, I know some people really enjoy it. And there's a certain audience of people that, would absolutely enjoy this.
Yeah.
I don't think broadly it's a thing I could recommend because it working for a game you want is completely random. It could probably work for Torchlight 1 or 2, but 3? What if it works for 3 and not 1 or 2? It's truly up in the air. Tekken 7's completely unsupported. It's just random. So that's unfortunate. But anyway, I got a Steam Deck. Anybody want to buy it? I'm just kidding. Do not try to buy this off me.
$200.
Well, Dan, no, everybody immediately hit pause after hearing you ask if anybody wanted to buy it. So please enjoy that for the next 8
They
months.
become deaf when they want to talk about something.
Time to drive engagement. But yeah,
I drive.
we played Mega Man Legends last Friday. It's really enjoyable. This Friday after this recording, which will now be last Friday when you hear this, we're gonna play Mega Man Legends too. Mega Man Legends is really cool. They should make a third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god.
They should.
Maybe close
They
that
should.
loop.
It's almost like that game is structured exactly like every modern game is now, and it was unbelievably forward thinking. And then a man named Keiji Inafune ruined every single thing about that company for 15 years.
It feels like it ruined it for like 25 years because of how long 7th Gen was.
Remember when we talked about how fucked up Azure Striker Gunvolt is? Did you know that Keiji Inafune is the entire reason that game is fucked up and weird?
Okay, cool. You don't even have to give me evidence.
He literally did an interview where like Inti Create showed me this game and I said it's bad. You should add all this stupid fucking dashing and killing everything by holding a single button, shooting lasers everywhere. Shit.
See, the funny thing is, I assumed when Phil sent the link for that, I was like, oh, storytelling stuff. Sure, that seems
Yeah, that's also my default.
mechanics. I see, and then I just walked away and I didn't think about it or read it. And I'm going to do that as soon as the segment's over. Oh, hey, you know what ran great on the Steam Deck? What? Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. It's the only Batman game that works. You need to understand, Chad. You need to understand, listeners. I have every Batman game on Steam.
You do.
Arkham Blackgate. Sorry, Origins. Arkham Origins Blackgate is the only one that works.
WB Montreal living out there.
Around the time we did this Legend stream, it was the next day, I got the experimental PS1 core for the Mister. I am fucking ass blown by how good that core is for something that's not fucking released.
Oh yeah, that was way closer to 100% compatibility than freaking the Steam Deck is.
What? Yeah, the only game we had problems with when we didn't try to force a widescreen hack was Chrono Cross. And we still don't know that wasn't because we at some point forced a widescreen hack. We didn't reboot it and then not turn that on. So maybe it's perfectly fine if you don't do that. It runs these games better than they ran originally.
Wow. I was thinking about the tech in the Mister, and I'm like, isn't it like too low to be able to handle like 6th Gen games?
That's what everyone thought, but it's able to do
5th gen.
PS1. There's still yeah. Don't worry, everyone gets that wrong. It's got the PS1 down. Like, it's really good. We booted a lot of games, about as many as we did on the Steam Deck. And it literally only had visual glitches with Chrono Cross. And it was really minor visual glitches. It wasn't the 3D stuff. It was some text GUI stuff that just fucked up.
So is this going to be another instance of the Mister?
Replaces thousands of dollars. Yes.
Yes. Okay. It
For
is,
me personally, it will replace at least $1,000 worth of retro modding.
where it becomes that thing of you could buy this really fringe niche device where someone just mods a toaster in there.
Yeah.
Or you could buy the Mister and just get the whole.
You can
whole
wait
thing.
until somebody releases a very small run of PS1 Digital HDMI mods, which is called the PS1 Digital. Really good name. In order to do that, and then it would still break the visuals on some games, and you would have to force certain modes so that way it wouldn't break. And then you'd get an X Station mod to replace the disk drive, or you could get a PSIO, which is, quote, 100% compatible. Which is why when we were running predictions for whether or not a Steam Deck game would work, we kept saying 100% compatible or doesn't run. Like 100% compatible or no. That was the thing people had to bet on with all these games.
Uh-huh.
So you can do that, all of that, and then buy an FPGA powered memory card so that way you have space to save these games. Or you could just buy a fucking Mister, which is cheaper than what I just described.
And
you get every console.
Yeah, it's not just one platform.
Mm-hmm. The value proposition of the Mister was already insane, and now it has a PS1 core.
Yeah, it's ludicrous. We should try Valkyrie Profile.
I should do the work to figure out how I get the beta version that I paid for, the private beta version I paid for instead of the public beta version, because it's not available in the normal update script because it's not public release yet.
Yeah.
But even the public release one, is what we tried, and it's that compatible, and it's insane. But what game, Bob?
Valkyrie Profile.
Yes. I love that game. That game's so good. Someday I'll get past the first dungeon. This is a joke. Someday I'll get past the second dungeon. That is not a bit.
I still remember I bought the PSP one and was like, why is it all stretched? And I just didn't play it.
Aggro's like, nah, this looks more correct for how I imagine Valkyries. And I'm like, he's not wrong, Bob. He's not wrong.
He's not. I can't deny him.
He's not wrong, but he should shut up.
The widescreen hack worked in most games.
Yeah, it just didn't work well in 2D stuff. Like it just stretches the screen when it's 2D.
Yeah, and this is a Mr. level hack. You just go into a specific screen in the PS1 Core's options, and you just select widescreen hack.
Right.
All 2D elements on the screen, it'll stretch it to be wider. The 3D elements, it hacks to actually render a wider 16:9 FOV. So imagine seeing things to the left and right of you in Mega Man Legends instead of the tunnel vision you have in that game.
Symphony of the Night had issues. Like that one was one that really did not work right.
Yeah, I think the first time we tried to boot it... Oh, yeah, that's something else I need to talk about. First time we tried to boot it from CHD, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Then we booted it again from the same CHD and it worked. But then it had other issues.
Yeah, it had weird, super long loads for everything. Like,
Yeah.
it was unplayable, basically.
Like it would take forever to load and we were like, it crashed. And then the title screen would pop up and we were like, oh, it's fine. And then we hit start. And then it would take seriously a minute. And then the file select would pop up. But yeah, what were we talking? Oh, right, CHDs. So this is super relevant. Otherwise, I wouldn't bring it up. SNES ROMs, Genesis ROMs, all of those ROMs, they're tiny. PS1 games are on discs. Discs are huge. How are you going to fit that many games on your Mister? Real problem. This course supports what's called CHDs, which are compressed image format. Like it's a CD image format invented for MAME that just compresses it. So I saved hundreds of megs on every single game. It's super easy to use. It works. My God. Why the hell don't any of these PS1 things somehow allow that? I assume it's technically impossible.
right.
Like in the Mister, it's possible. In the fucking PSIO or X Station, no, not so much. But it's nuts to be able to be like, yeah, this giant PS1 game, I took 400, 300 megs off, and now it's like 200 megs. So I can fit way more games on it. Yeah, that core, that was a really positive experience. For something that advertised itself as, hey, I'm a beta. You had to go somewhere on the internet to get me. I'm not going to work right. And then worked really well. To then go to, here's this $530 portable I bought. That doesn't even boot half of the things I
More
own.
than a PS5.
Yes. I think it's fair to be fair, I could have gotten the SD card one.
Which, no, you couldn't. Then it'd hold one game.
But
then
you might as well not even sell that.
But then I could buy an SD card and stick it in it and increase the storage.
How much would that cost?
I mean, I'm just going to look up a 256 gig SD card. I don't know what quality I would want for it. I don't know if anyone's done testing yet on load times and things like that.
Yeah, I was like, do they have a recommended?
No, they're
would.
not. They're not like Blackmagic design where they're like, use these. At least not as far as I know. They didn't send me any. They didn't send me any recommended media lists, which maybe they should have. They don't have that many people who own these.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, it looks like that really wouldn't cost that much.
Okay.
You know, like $28. Let's say I get the extreme version.
Yeah.
Up to 160 megabytes, which I don't know if the SD reader in that can even go that fast. But that's 35 megs or $35. So that would give me just as much, in fact, more storage, but it wouldn't be as fast of storage.
Uh-huh.
And who knows if that could cause other compatibility problems. I have no idea. But yeah, that's it. I'm done talking about PS1 cores, Steam Deck, everything else. Anything you want to say about those before we move on, Bob?
No, I'm good.
I shouldn't have to reboot a portable this many times to get a game work. That's it.
Or
That's
at
it.
all.
Yeah. What a neat hobbyist. Like, I consider this Raspberry Pi adjacent in my brain. It's like there's a certain type of customer who would
Yeah.
want to do Raspberry Pi shit. This is more that tier. Anyway, Bob, did you play anything else?
I was able to sneak in this morning.
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of new fighting game characters came out.
Yeah, like all of them for every video game.
So KOF 15 added Rugal,
Yes.
and they added a boss mode against Rugal.
banned.
That thing, I have not been playing KOF 15 enough, obviously. Rugal shows me this by annihilating my entire team. I can't even do a
Eviscerating
quarter.
you.
Yeah, I can't even do a quarter of his health bar.
Your dream came true. You got what you wanted.
Yes, it's great that he's here.
I'm so happy for you.
He completely wrecks. Completely. He has, apparently that boss mode has super moves for him that he doesn't even have in the playable version
Good.
at all.
That's what I want, where it's like, I'd like to play as him, but please make something stupid.
But yeah, he's completely broken. It's messed up, and that's what it should be. I also played Melty Blood. They added Mario Gallo Bestino.
Mamma mia.
He's like this little boy that has an army of nuns that work for him.
All right.
And
That remake's weird.
and he uses like wire strings. I'm not sure if he's puppeting the girls or what.
Oh, okay.
It's neat. He's fun. Very weird. And then they add Powered Seal, who Seal is the nun who's playable in the standard game. But now she's in her like battle outfit and has a gigantic gun that turns into a sword. And she's really cool. So that was fun. I didn't get to play too much. I can't say too much about them, but they seem like really neat characters. And they are free. You can just go download them. Absolutely free DLC. They keep putting out these tweets whenever they make these, though. It's like,
Free download decision.
yeah, free download decision. Is you have to choose one. You don't have to choose one. Just go download both.
My choice to not have more characters.
Yes. I even saw random translators on Twitter being like, please stop doing this. Because it's clearly thrown into some sort of machine translation that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that reads the same way a lot of stuff in Master Duel does, where they put this game into a machine translator. So yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then I did this at like 5 a.m. or so. Scarlet had not released Umbrella yet, so I have not played her yet. And that's everything I did. That's all I had time for.
Oh, okay.
Cool. After this, we need to play Skullgirls.
We do, Jesus.
Hey, Casey.
Hey.
Did you get a Steam Deck? You're like, yeah, but then I hit A button and it disappeared.
it turned to slime in my hands. I didn't play anything new, so
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and pass over to Phil.
Okay, Phil?
I didn't have time to play anything, but I did drink something and watch something.
Ooh.
I drank Pepsi Nitro.
What is that?
Is that like coffee Pepsi?
It is. No, it is not coffee, but it is nitro infused Pepsi.
Yeah, so instead of being carbonated, it's nitrogenated.
What? Okay.
God,
It's dog shit. It's dog shit.
It is absolutely dog shit. I've tasted a nitro cola before. That it is. I don't.
Pepsi Draft Cola.
yeah, because the
It's
idea.
flat Pepsi. It tastes like flat
no.
Pepsi. That's all it tastes like.
Okay, okay,
We just got
carbonated,
through the
right?
Podlord
We
bit.
gotta
Come
ask
on.
you the next question. Was it lukewarm?
No, it was ice. It was ice fucking cold because that was part of the directions.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But it's like it tastes like flat Pepsi.
Thank you to our Podlord Pepsi Nitro. Supporting
God,
the show.
I wish our Podlord was literally them.
I'm a little bit upset that it cost $2.75 for the 16-ounce can.
Whoa.
Wow.
For people who don't put this together, this is like a nitro beer or a nitro coffee, where the idea is you get this nice thick foam.
You do get a
flat-
foam.
a
Too
flat
bad none of those bubbles are in the thing, and it tastes like flat Pepsi.
Yeah, let me post this. Here
This is
you go for you
insane.
guys who are wondering. This is official Pepsi imagery.
Pour hard.
I'm putting this in the video. Yeah.
Pour hard.
Yeah, it was not good. I do not recommend anybody try this.
Bob,
ever.
we need to go find this so I can try this.
I'm excited. I want to try this nightmare.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
I-
This is
I
already
found it in
absurd. This is already absurd enough. You've got to be shitting me with this kit, with this shit. Look at this.
I got it at Family Dollar, so you could look there. It's in
Okay.
the
Dan,
coolers
Dan,
where they sell
If you
16-ounce
find them,
drinks.
get me one.
Vanilla draft cola espresso bean. for garnish.
Well, those are two different things, to be clear. That is 2 ounces of Nitro Pepsi Vanilla Draft Cola, and then you're supposed to use espresso bean for garnish. Bob, they are showing you
What you can make at your home?
a martini that has 0.75 ounces of espresso.
Oh my God.
2 ounces of Nitro Pepsi, and then they grated an espresso bean on top.
Okay, it's a mock-tini, so it's no alcohol in here.
No.
Okay. Oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah, no, this is dumb.
Thank you, Phil, for finding that.
I'm excited because I don't like flat soda, but I can accept it. Like I can drink it. It doesn't. I don't repulse it from my body like Dan.
Oh yeah, I hate that shit. It makes me mad.
But also it's Pepsi.
You ever just walk around with your friends while you hold a 4-pack? You're doing nothing else. You're just smiling and holding your 4-pack of Pepsi. I love promotional images. They're so funny.
It's also similar to Coke Starlight in that even when it's freezing cold, it kind of tastes warm.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Dan, do you think that 4-pack cost him $25?
Probably.
It probably costs 10.
Yeah, it costs at least 10, I bet.
$5.
I bet I'll like this more than than Coke Starlight.
I don't know.
Bob, what do you think?
For me, hopefully, but there's a chance this is just vile. So I'm going to go with Coke Starlight.
Okay. KZ, which do you think you'll like more?
It's hard to tell. Coke Starlight, for reference, is like a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good drink.
Yeah, it's like a low 4. I'm gonna say no because it feels saying it still tasted warm. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm like, warm Pepsi is the worst, as we have outlined for 6 months.
Thank you to our podlord.
Thank you, Podlords.
And I watched a Michael Bay movie.
Oh, that.
Which one?
I watched Pain and Gain.
Hell yeah!
That movie is really good.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, I almost sent it in as one of my blessed content picks, like for the past couple of months.
So if you don't know what Pain and Gain is, it's a movie based on true story by the Sun Gym Gang, a group of ex-convicts and bodybuilders who basically rob a rich guy and like kidnap him and force him to sign over all his stuff to them.
Yes, it's so good.
It stars Mark Wahlberg, The Rock, and Anthony Mackie.
Now, is this a real true story, or is this like a Bloodsport true story?
Bloodsport 2.
No, this is a real true story.
What?
No, this is a real true story. Like almost every single thing in this movie actually happened. It's like if they made a GTA movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael Bay seems like the right guy for that.
Oh,
Yeah, he does.
So you know how like Michael Bay makes movies that are very ugly, not like visually, but like in terms of the people in them.
Yes.
He finally made a movie that's like, what if I made that a strength of the movie instead of
some
making
weird
a Transformers movie?
Some weird chafing layer you have to deal with that's slowly shaving off your skin.
Yeah, it really works for this movie. Like the whole movie. Remember the start of Grand Theft Auto Vice City, where like Tommy Vercetti is like narrating. That's like the movie. It has that energy. The whole thing.
Okay, that seems all right.
I really enjoyed it. I'm like, wow, I can't. It just has this thread as you go through it where it's like, these people are incompetent dipshits. They're also really terrifying because they're incompetent dipshits. It's like, wow, they really have no filters, which includes doing horrible things. But yeah, I very much enjoyed that movie. It's still really funny that Mark Wahlberg is the protagonist.
Yes.
and is enormous. He's like the size of John Cena in this.
Whoa. Oh yeah, they go in hard. No wonder The Rock was in it.
He is by far the hugest dude, but yeah. I enjoyed that a lot. I had to do Genshin cleanup this week, where it's like you have Genshin Impact has a completely insane mechanic that no video game ever made has had. which is that NPCs can only exist in one state at a time.
Oh God,
game
yeah,
world?
that.
So sometimes you'll want to do a quest, and it'll be like, one of the NPCs is busy in this other quest you started, and I'm like, but I don't want to do that quest. And I'm like, sorry.
Oh,
Go do that, and then come back. I'm like, oh, God damn it. So I had to do a bunch of those to be able to do the stuff that they just released. I'm like, why? Why is it made this way?
Yeah, I'm
No
also
other
caught in
game
that
ever
same-
made is this way.
Yeah, I'm also caught in the same thing where it's like, okay, you did half of the quest leading up to the one that's actually important. Now this one that's important, you need to do 3 random quests that these 3 guys are locked up in. I'm like, what are you doing? No.
It's like, but why wouldn't you automatically prioritize not this one?
The funniest thing is it's not even like a main, it doesn't have to be an NPC that's heavily involved. Like, there's someone.
Oh yeah, it can be a generic one. Like, it doesn't have to be a character that you can roll for. It can just be some completely generic NPC who has a specific name.
Yes, like, say this person who stands next to the bulletin board. They need to be standing in the background in this quest you get from someone next to them. It's like, what?
They also stack. They also like there's like an invisible stack that's in a weird order. So this is something that happened a couple times as I cleaned them out. It's like, I do one step of the quest I don't want to do, and it goes, okay, that NPC is now freed up for the other quest. You can no longer continue the quest you were doing because it is now stacked behind that quest.
Ugh.
So luckily I'm pretty much entirely through it. I think I can now just do the event and get the free stuff. But that's all I had time for this week.
I have one more thing to talk about before we go into
Oh no, I mean yes.
Oh
the
yeah?
rest of this. You know how I just said Sonic Generations is verified?
Yeah.
Do not play Sonic Generations on the fucking. do not play it on the Steam Deck.
What do you mean, Dan? It's verified. What happened?
Any number of things make it drop to 14 frames per second. Like, you can see this from there. 1 second. I'm booting a level. I'm going to hit the boost button. Watch it shit. Okay.
Okay. That's not
Dan-
playable. What are you
Dan,
talking about?
Any number of things can cause that. I got hit by an enemy and it dropped to 12.
Dan, can you come over here and boost? I need a hit.
Yeah, sure.
Come on. I need
fucking
I need to make a laugh noise as I look at it.
Okay, so I'm going to see how it's kind of smooth?
Yeah.
1 sec.
That
That was not hyperbole. That is literally dropping to 17 frames right now.
Oh.
And any number of things can cause that.
Man, this PS3 port's pretty good.
I mean, it's called boost gameplay. And the boosting is making it drop. Like what?
I don't know. I don't see the problem is they don't support boost mode. Nobody wants boost mode.
I am
Thanks,
Dude,
Xbox.
thank you, Xbox Australia. Dan,
Yeah.
I am imagining you doing Sky Sanctuary Zone in that, where you do the spin around the tower that makes it break apart while it's happening. I bet that shit just crashes.
To be
the Steam
honest,
Deck.
I played that 2 levels ago and I could not make it that far. It started shitting bad.
Yeah, I was trying to imagine other intense moments on top of it also using boost.
Yeah, it's...
Well, that's
I wonder what resolution is that. There's one other thing I needed to mention aside from that. This fan is terrible. I genuinely felt bad that I forgot to mention it. It is so high pitched, and it does it when you download things. It doesn't even need to be running a game. Just downloading things will heat it up enough where it needs to turn on what is probably the most annoying fan since like launch PS3. Yeah, okay, the settings weren't set. They're all set to low. It's only 720p. There's no graphics to nerf. They're all nerfed.
and it's over 10 years old.
Lock it to 15 frames per second, Dan. That's what they wanted.
I mean, I guess I could. Hell, that wasn't even the full resolution of 720p. I'm changing that to 800p. There we go. Now I'm going to get the real experience. It's just like, you know who gets the real experience of listening to Big Thick Dimension?
Who's that, Dan?
Who?
The Pod Lord.
Oh, fuck, a segue.
Whoa.
The Segway. Fan, I'm going to need you to shut the fuck up. I'm trying to do Pod Lord. Let me suspend that and throw it into a river. I'm going to be honest, I got confused what channel I was in because I saw a bunch of Pepsi draft images.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's fucking weird.
That dude is happy about the $25 he spent.
He's fucking thrilled. I bet his sodas are compatible with his mouth.
I hope, Jesus.
They were compatible with Feels, though. But we're compatible with the Podlords.
Yeah.
Podlords such as E. Lee Broyles, Corey Brown. When they need your fire, but they pick the water lizard. That's chat's fault. They voted.
They did. We would not have done this.
Red Blaze 27. Dwarf Maxed Juicer Frost. Suzu Shiro. Emperor Zero. Shibuya Gato. Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs, which will be reviewed in episodes 250 to 276 of the Flintstones versus the Honeymooners podcast.
Good Lord.
Thank you.
The forest messenger fell into my window well again. Also, window well covers are surprisingly expensive. 101 Shades of Wonderful remastered. WTF, Spider-Man. I was going to use that picture for a Podlord, but you're going to see it enough. Hashtag love wins even when it shouldn't. That's what you think. Trade offer. You receive $15. I receive a new Podlord image every week.
Oh, I should have done a front-facing one.
Oh God!
I'm very excited for front-facing to overtake Wonder Bread as the meme for Pokemon Days.
Yeah, the people realize they don't have to pay extra because it's just a different look direction-wise.
Ooh.
Trade offer. My neck is broken.
DFW 3K. They took her boob bones. This is censorship.
Not her boob bones.
Leave Jing Karia to me. Kristen. All hail King Goldberry. All hail King Goldberry. All hail King Goldberry. Raido Kuzunoha and Nocturne Figma pre-order waiting room. Armed with only his gun, his shield, and his courage, he went on to fight gods and demons. And Azaku too, and a gun tank was there. Kyle Bjork. Matty Moe. Opod. The Fucklords. Iron Aggro.
Fuck lords.
Blig da Blue. Schligda's Poo. Front-facing character of the week, Pearl Krabs.
Oh my god.
What's that even from?
That's from SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Okay.
That's Mr. Krabs' daughter, the big whale.
She's a giant whale.
right.
She has an enormous head. BN12. Monster Hunter, Ryzen and Raiden. I've got nothing, so have an incognito detective.
Thank you.
Jordan. Happy birthday, Jordan.
Happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday.
Jordan.
Happy birthday.
He's
4 days
drunk
later,
off
Jordan.
his ass right now. It's real bad.
21st, huh?
He didn't know that you're not supposed to fill the entire shot glass.
Okay, that's... All right, sure, sure.
He might die.
Hopefully he ate a lot of food and has more to eat and stops drinking. Clearly, you don't play the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV with an expanded free trial that lets you play through Cooper Tank. AG is rewatching Bleach with the podcast. They think the Bounce arc is great. That is the single best part of the Bounce arc.
It is.
Like, it's not even close.
Yes.
Me? I'm already half Unreal 5.
He is glistening.
Drive Typecam. Mitzi. Indigo Sykes. Way cool.
Hello.
Look at how Bob massacred my boy.
Is that Dory?
Bob, do you remember what it was supposed to be?
No.
I know
assume
what
lantern,
Pokemon
right?
it's supposed to be.
No, it's not supposed
It
to.
was not supposed to be Lantern.
What? It was a mistake I made on my part. You can go look up on the
drew
DVR.
what you.
Oh, it's Gen 2, so
Good luck.
Let me bring up the DVR and solve this mystery.
That's true. Did you know GigaBoots has a DeviantArt? DeviantArt.com/GigaBoots. Go check out all the good-
Remoraid? Was it supposed to be Remoraid?
I'm struggling to think of fish in Gen 2 somehow.
That's okay. It's a Gen 2 Pokemon in Gen 2. They don't give them to you.
No, they do not. They're sickos, actually.
They're like, headbutt this tree 47 times, wrong tree. You get nothing. It was supposed to be Chinchou. I think it was supposed to be Chinchou.
I don't
No, it's
know.
supposed to be Sunkern.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because Jinxiao evolves into Lantern, so that would have made sense. But Sunkern,
Yeah.
Sunkern.
Oh, wow. That wasn't even close.
Bob's assignment: draw a seed, gets fish.
Pokemon News is great.
Yeah, it is. That's why I don't watch it.
A raccoon. 1 second, I almost double posted. A raccoon that does not know where it is and is scared.
Help! Help!
It's got a good wig, though.
I don't know what's up with Sora in this one, but he's a lot more likable now. There's a certain warmth to him.
There's a certain warmth to him digging through my Japanese trash.
Jack Frost went to town and found this fun-he Carho. I, Dan Video Games, being of sound body and mind, promised to listen to people that care about me and vow to stop playing Mighty Number 9.
Never stop, Dan. Never. No one must ever forget.
I'm gonna have to do a fresh format on the Steam Deck to get it to work.
I'm gonna sprinkle some crack on you and you can start playing.
Ultra wide 4K gamer cats and ferrets. Virmvarm. How does Activision keep doing this? It literally is endless! The new funniest Alliance raid mechanic.
I haven't
done it yet.
I haven't done it yet, but I can see low tier God saying I should kill myself now. So it must be pretty rough.
The face of a man with nothing left to lose.
He made some choices.
Lane's World 25. The Hard M is concerned for the well-being of the one Sonic Chronicles poster in BioWare's offices circa 2018. Patreon, or where you go? Okay, there you go. Sarlene, thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pod
Thank
Lords.
you, Pod Lords.
Man, those Podlords were very compatible.
They were 100%.
And if you'd like to become compatible, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to many benefits, such as early access to Chugging Bleach, our Bleach review podcast. We review all of Bleach. We just finished the Bound arc. We're the only human beings on planet Earth who have ever actually sat through the entire thing without self-harm. Extended armchair dev pitches and gamer premonitions when those ideas force us to leave ideas on the floor, and a Patreon exclusive show, one per month, where you get to vote on what good or bad thing we have to watch and then talk about. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. And if you don't have any money, you can always help us by spreading the word and telling your friends. And if you don't have any friends, well, I'm not a fucking self-help book. Work it out. Patreon.com/gbpodcast.
If you don't have any friends, get a Steam Deck and then be like, I love this. Please find me other guys. That'll make you 100% compatible. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
Yeah, thumbs up.
We got some news.
Okay,
I'll bust through my news really quickly.
sure.
Story of Seasons Pioneers of All of Town for PS4 coming to the West this summer. $39.99.
Already pre-ordered.
Good. That should be a really good way to play that game, unlike the Steam Deck. The DLC is missing, which is a little weird. For anyone who doesn't know, the original releases on both Steam and Switch had DLCs for former games, like older Story Season games, husbandos and waifus being on islands you could go to, so that way you could get them to marry you. I didn't think that DLC was very good. But I'm sure there's some people out there that
Its
are like,
absence is felt.
yeah, I'm sure there's some people out there that
It's
are
a
like,
deal breaker if I can have that one specific one.
I need Kai. He's important. He's the key to everything.
He's a kid to all of us.
But yeah, so who knows? Maybe it's just not even going to have it. Maybe it's built in. We'll find out. Toho Metrovania Scarlet Symphony from like 2009 is getting an HD remastered port with English and other languages titled Komajo Densetsu Scarlet Symphony. And it's launching on Switch and Steam July 28th for $30. It has key features such as colorful dialogues between Toho characters.
Yeah!
I figured that was an important key feature.
I think the art from this game is unbelievably funny. Where they have what is the artist's name? I know it's Kojima. Is it Ayami Kojima?
Yes.
Kojima.
Yeah.
They have like Ayami Kojima Reimu,
Yes.
Yeah,
which is really funny.
I think I actually ended up playing the original version of this game like last year sometime.
Yeah.
It was really rough. So I'm excited to see what they're doing.
Yeah, they rehauled the graphics a decent bit. I'm really interested.
Yeah, they probably would have had to they probably definitely would have had to change the graphics because a lot of them are just Castlevania sprites they took.
Weird how that works.
Or so closely modeled on them that you can't. Like I'm looking at footage of the original game and it's like that Minotaur is just a boss from Rondo of Blood. There is no difference whatsoever.
That's it for my news. Let's jump over to Feel for the Feel Good news of the week.
That's a feel always brings it right now.
Okay. Well, we'll go in increasing order of negativity. So there's a Half-Life 2 mod that replaces Alex with Krystal from Star Fox Adventures, the blue fox furry woman.
Yeah.
It's getting full voice acting by the actual voice actor of Krystal, Estelle Ellis. That's insane.
Yeah, that's nutty and hilarious.
It's ludicrous. Someone cared
That is
too much.
beyond insane. Here's what it looks like if you were curious.
Yeah, Bob, that doesn't look like Krystal. That's unsettling.
It sure is. And her having the exact same lines down there as Alex would just is really weird.
This is the gravity gun my father was talking about. You could call it the 0-point energy field manipulator if you really want to.
You guys decide to do Half-Life 2 and this is how you do it.
Yes. Absolutely. We need anything to spice that up.
That would be incredible.
Man, this is a really interesting Half-Life month you got here.
Bethesda is shutting down the Bethesda launcher and just moving all that shit over to Steam. They're keeping Bethesda.net though, so all your shit can still take longer to load and start up. Fuck you.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah, well, they still want your data. Nothing's going to stop that.
We just don't want you to use our app.
Microsoft should just be like, hey, we're one of the biggest platforms. We can just give you data and you not need to make our games worse by including this bad feature.
Like, guys,
But that would involve...
we own Windows.
It's like Microsoft is scared to actually touch the things they're now acquiring. Like they have the reverse Midas touch, where they'll touch it and it'll just turn to stone and turn to dust.
I mean,
Development will stop.
kind of. Rip Ensemble.
Okay, so Overwatch announced a new character for the Overwatch 2 PvP beta.
Oh, that's neat.
It's a black woman named Sojourn. She is named after Sojourner Truth, an African-American women's rights activist back in slavery days.
Oh, okay.
They announced this 30 minutes after this announcement, which is that the California Governor Gavin Newsom is accused of interfering to support Activision Blizzard in the state discrimination lawsuit. Basically, he's directly interfering in ways that he's accused of being, interfering in ways that directly benefit Blizzard, and Bobby Kotick specifically. He apparently fired the agency boss investigating Janet Whipper, presumably for investigating too intensely. And another employee, Melanie Proctor, both women, by the way, has resigned in protest. So it really, this doesn't surprise me. I have zero doubt in my mind this is true. And it also doesn't surprise me because this is one of the biggest corporate acquisitions in human history.
Yeah.
And it at least partially hinges on this lawsuit.
Yeah.
So no shit, they're calling in every single favor they can from everyone they can, because one, every single investor in Blizzard wants this to go through. They lose so much money if this does not go through. Kotick is sunk, or as sunk as he could ever be if this doesn't go through.
Yeah.
And Microsoft doesn't want to, they don't want to walk into this acquisition being like, Microsoft acquires Sexual Predator Company.
Sexual Predator Incorporated.
Like, they need this radiation to go from the microwave hallway to being more low key so that they can just ignore it.
It's like if one of the android cell absorbed was a pedophile. And he's like, I'm perfect now. And everyone's like,
That's another thing. That's another Blizzard thing. Activision Blizzard thing. Vicarious Visions is now entirely turned into Blizzard. Nothing of Vicarious Visions remains. Remember when they made the founder of Vicarious Visions a co-head at Blizzard, and then 3 months later she was like, yeah, I don't have any actual power, and they're paying me half as much as the man. I'm leaving.
yeah, what a great company.
And every single time she said, you should do this thing, they said no. Yeah,
and
yeah, that was really sad. Vicarious Visions putting out a tweet essentially saying to unfollow them. where they're like, we are now fully Blizzard now, which means there's no use for this at all.
And Blizzard appointed a new chief of diversity officer who wants to increase the number of women and non-binary employees by 50%, presumably with a box held up by a stick.
By 50%. Oh man, they're gonna get one.
I thought you were going to say the head of diversions.
They need a new head of diversions, because that new Overwatch character that was announced, we've seen them like 2 years ago. That was when Overwatch 2 got announced.
Yeah.
So it's literally just here.
Here it is again.
Yeah.
You have name now.
KZ, Blizzard has a lot of women they need someone to abuse.
The head of diversions, literally, they'll do a press conference, and anytime a hard question is asked, they'll just smash a plate on the wall. They'll just throw a dish at the fucking wall and go, what? I can't hear you.
You just threw an apple at that dude's eye.
I think he's dead.
Serious question. Why would you go work if you were a woman or non-binary? Why would you go work for Activision Blizzard?
If they paid really well, like fucking Fortnite did, then I would understand that. But no, they don't pay that Fortnite money.
Like you're signing, like at least the crab fishermen on Deadliest Catch make like $80,000 in 4 months.
Yeah,
right.
It's like there's nothing here except a cube crawl.
Yeah.
Let me do one last shit thing through my notes. See if there's any last news. No, there's not. Go ahead.
Okay, let's go to the Bob good news of the week.
Let me look at see if any of this is good news. Euden Chronicles Rising. We got a release date on it. We know what it is now, because this is related to that Kickstarter project that was like announced 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's like a Suikoden.
God, was that really 2 years ago?
It was right before the pandemic started.
Oh fuck!
So it's more than that. I underestimated a little bit.
Oh god damn it! You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, because I remember I signed up for that Kickstarter when I was still working at GameStop in the mall's cafeteria.
Oh wow, wow.
So yeah, it's like a spin-off game. It comes out May 10th. It's gonna be $15. It's like a weird.
That seems like the right price based on what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, it's like a Metroidvania, but it's all about building up this town. So you live in this main town, you can upgrade it, and you go out and beat dungeons and come back with stuff. And also, weirdly, some of the stuff you earn here transfers to the main game next year.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Who's making this?
Allegedly the same people. Like, all I can see is Bunny and whatever studios, which are the same guys working on the main game.
Weird.
This game looks kind of cheap and kind of not great in terms of like how it probably is to play.
I'm praying that what I'm seeing is the product of an IGN person playing the game and not necessarily how playing the game normally looks.
Yeah, I saw like a preview video a couple of weeks ago from like a YouTuber that got access to it, and it looked bad.
Yeah, weirdly, the backgrounds look pretty good, which I assume they're just straight from the main game.
Yeah.
And then the character sprites and stuff are kind of rough.
Is the main game's not going to be like 2D like this, is it?
No.
Isn't it going to be like more like a normal RPG?
I mean, no, it's 3D with 2D characters.
Oh, really? Well, is it 3D gameplay, though?
It's like a regular RPG though.
Okay, yeah,
it's totally.
okay.
Yeah, play is totally different.
Okay.
But visually, I assume that those are literally like this is the town.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
the backdrop.
Huh. Yeah, this does look really rough, but here's what I know.
What's that?
I know this beyond a shadow of a doubt. We will get this game and look at it.
Oh yeah, I'm buying this. I'm excited to see what it is. It has a weird mechanic where you switch between 3 characters that looks really bad. And I want to know how this feels.
Oh yeah, it looks bad.
One of these.
I'm looking at the gameplay trailer of the main game, and it's like, yeah, we stuck assets from that into this weird game.
Okay. Yeah.
One of these days, you need to do a special stream that is only games that exist as spin-offs for Kickstarter games.
Man.
It's a surprising amount of games.
Yeah,
It
I know. You do this. You do the like I'm sure there's like Mighty Number 9 spin-offs or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there was the web-based game that's now shut down. There's Mighty Gunvolt.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah, the Curse of the Moon 1 because that was that. There was that. That wonderful 101 thing, is that out? That like
don't
mini
know.
game thing that's a side scrolling thing with the awful child.
I have no idea.
There's a lot of good options there.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
that is a goal. If we hit it,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
So I sit here.
That was 2 years ago.
We're streaming these games, right?
Yeah.
Someone comes in, they're like, Dan, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, guys, we're streaming a bunch of games that are like spin-offs of popular Kickstarter games, you know, the smaller budget things that come out in order to complement those. They go, Dan? I'm like, what? They're like, you're playing the Uncharted card game. And I go, oh my God. I'm so tired.
And then you crash into a wall.
Yes.
Strangely, this is also going to be a prequel story-wise. Like, this is apparently setting up the whole universe. Like, this is a big deal.
Gotta plug in then.
Yeah, you got to play it. You got to know what this inciting incident is that sets up for the rest of this game.
I'm going back to that platinum thing for a second. That shit ain't ever coming out. They still haven't delivered all the physical rewards from that campaign from 2 years ago.
I know. I know because they're still emailing me.
Yeah, there's
And they have not even said the words Luca's first mission since that campaign ended. That shit is never happening.
God.
It's taking them a million years to. Did that Soul Cresta thing come out?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was
Wait,
out.
it did?
Yeah, it came out last month. It came out. Wait, February or March?
Yeah.
We didn't discuss it. Nobody discussed it. Nobody bought it.
Yeah.
haven't seen a single human being. Even like the retro gamers were like, "Oh, this is kind of like something old." My brain is now turned off.
Yeah, no, it was like
none
$40.
of them mentioned it either.
You know how I know it came out? GameSack took ad money from it.
Oh,
They actually put a spot for it at the beginning of an episode.
Oh my god.
People were like, oh shit, it's something relevant to what my interests are. And I'm like, wow, Platinum had enough money to pay GameSack?
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. I guess all the mind share went to Babylon's Fall for everything people wanted to look at for Platinum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people can only look at one grenade at a time.
Yes.
Actually
that one
true.
glows, okay?
Yeah. Didn't they already announce, like, we're going to change this about the game with Soul Cresta? Like, oh, the game's going to get patched. We're going to fix blank.
I don't know. I know they're still working on adding that DLC.
Great.
Oh,
okay.
apparently the downloadable content includes the real ending, so it's there with Asura's Wrath.
Oh, come on.
Let's move on. Okay.
Don't want to think about Platinum.
Okay. Witcher 3's PS5/series version is being moved to internal development over at CD Projekt Red.
Wait.
I guess it was being developed externally.
That's the first time we've heard of that.
I guess.
Pretty sure they pretended Witcher was internal just like Cyberpunk until now.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird. Okay.
But yeah, apparently it was scheduled for Q2 this year. Now they don't have a date at all. They're just like, we're going to evaluate where we need to start from with this. And then we'll tell you when we can release it. I was like, oh my God.
Dude, they handed
That sounds like they passed it off to someone who was fucked up.
Yes.
Here's what happened. They passed off The Witcher 3 to someone to port to modern systems. They looked at the code base and went, bitch, you live like this?
Yes. Yeah, they probably also realized, wait, this is our one that actually people love. We should probably do this ourselves and make it good.
What a fucking concept.
Maybe it can come out when season 3 of the show comes out.
We also heard about this visual novel called Witch on the Holy Night.
I don't know which one.
Wait, one second. Let's go back to The Witcher for a second.
Oh, yeah,
I found
sure.
out why this happened.
Okay.
It was the next gen version was being developed by Russian studio Saber Interactive. So, yeah, I bet you had to move that back to being internal. Yeah, I bet you had to do that.
Oh.
Oof.
Yikes. Oh, that sucks for them.
It'll come out the same week as Advance Wars.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's coming, guys. It's fine.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry, Dan.
Dun, 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 dun.
So Witch in the Holy Night.
Yeah, there's a which one? There is a Witch on the Holy Night. It's a visual novel. It was Type Moon's first non-porn visual novel back in 2012.
That's funny as hell.
It came back in 2012 back then on PC only, of course.
Of course.
Now they're doing a PS4 Switch version. Oh, wait, it's just PS4. No, I was right. PS4 and Switch. Is actually getting English subtitles for the Japanese release. So it still doesn't have official US or Western release at all, but apparently the Japanese version will have that. Now that makes me wonder, is this going to be like machine translation nonsense or an actual translation?
That is getting more popular over there from what I've been noticing. Of just, here's your English gobbledygook. It doesn't fucking read right. It seems like Bunny Must Die's current release on the PS4 is that.
Right.
It's like when I try to engage with a Southeast Asian English version of a game.
Yeah, it's hopefully that's not the case, because people are already getting hype about, man, we're getting a visual novel from Type Moon like anywhere near Japan. It's like, no, it's not playable, because that works for Bunny Must Die, kind of. Not that well.
No, it's because, comedy.
Yeah, comedy just falls flat.
Yeah, but it's way worse for that even.
Yeah, this is just a novel, basically.
Yeah.
So it's unplayable. This is in the same universe as Tsukihime. It revolves around Aoko, which is that character that the guy in Melty Blood a few months ago with the long red hair and the spirit gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's neat. And the last thing I got, there's a new Monster Hunter game announced, guys. Sorry, Monster Rancher game.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
You just hit entirely different audiences there.
Yes, finally a new Monster Rancher game.
Yeah.
It's for iOS and Android. It's called Line Monster Rancher. Made by Line Corporation, the guys who make the Japanese texting app.
I guess this makes sense given how Monster Rancher works.
So, does Popco show up in this?
I hope.
With one eye.
Yeah, I don't think this will ever come to the States. That's my read on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, given that it's Line.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But they will have new features using the Line system for creating your monster.
Now, if this was Twitter Monster Rancher.
Yes! When are we getting Twitter Monster Rancher?
Now that.
But that's the problem. Then Elon would buy it and everything would evolve into him.
That's all my news, luckily.
Okay.
I'm going to evolve into Elon Musk. Nope, he's just bald now. I don't know.
That sucks. Give it your best shot.
Every reply to the fucking news about he's going to buy it, and everyone's like, damn, he's really going to buy the website to keep me from posting this. And it's an old picture of him where he's clearly bald. I'm like, I always thought his hair looked weird. I didn't realize they were plugs. The more you know.
Right?
Oh, very unfortunate.
Let's go to the KZ good news of the week.
Okay. Save the big one for last. Bamco trademarked Last Recollection in Europe and Japan. I am extrapolating this and guessing that it'll be a .hack thing because they still have those first 4 games they didn't remaster, and the GU one was called Last Recode. Though it could be completely wrong. But I would like that because I think those games are a bit cooler than the GU ones and a bit more interesting to me. And a couple of them are
$750.
yeah, but only for like 2 of them. Like I remember the prices on the first one being okay, and then there's like some in the middle that are like fucking 400.
Yeah.
And it's a nightmare. So I would like it to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always the more interesting series. I was surprised when they brought GU back, like, first.
I guess because it's slightly easier. I feel like you have to do some quality of life stuff to these older.
There was something that like they lost the originals. I'm like, we fucking can't.
Well, that makes sense. It is a PS2 era game,
Right.
by a Japanese developer.
Yeah. And I feel like these came out pretty early on since GU was like 05.
Yeah.
So I think it was literally that GU was like, yeah, we learned that we should save this stuff, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Maybe they're a bit more confident in doing this because the GU ones I maybe did well on Switch. I have no data on whether they did well or not.
Yeah, I heard they did bad.
Okay.
Like I heard the hard opposite.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
So who knows?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it at all. I'm just like, well, that did get ported recently.
They did better than we expected Xenosaga to do, and that's good enough.
Oh man, it did better than double-digit sales. That's crazy.
Well,
See, I would buy a Xenosaga remaster just to be like, yep, these are dog shit. I was right, and then I would stop.
Oh, okay.
just starts Joker dancing.
God.
Another thing that cropped up this week, Bamco did job postings that list a new 3D action Nintendo remaster or remake project.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
yeah, I can't at all think of what they would do.
Well, obviously, Soul Calibur Legends, the amazing Wii game everyone remembers.
That's not a Nintendo game.
Yeah, but it was on a Nintendo console. So.
Oh my god. I'm gonna say it's Luigi's Mansion.
I desperately need this to be Kid Icarus. Like, I need that to exist in a game that isn't openly hostile to the concept of wrists.
Yeah, and I think that might have been in cooperation with them too.
I wouldn't doubt it. It's
my
Sora
God.
Limited.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that would be the perfect match. Because I couldn't think of anything. I'm like, what, Wario World? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I feel like Wario World would like Treasure still exists, and Treasure made that fucking game, so I assume they'd work with Treasure.
We're
for that.
remaking Pikmin 1.
It's an action game?
It is an action game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we have to remember that Japan does not have the same ideas as action as us. Remember when they're like, Square Enix opens new division to make action game, Balan Wonderworld.
Right. Like I can understand that though. But Pikmin's that other level of no, you're controlling a cursor. If you're controlling a character, I'll let you pretend it's an action game.
But you do control a character. You directly control Olimar. Yep. He's the cursor also.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, his
It's
You'll learn
and the way
Pikmin 4 comes out, which is almost done, by the way.
Oh, thank God.
They delayed it 8 years to the Switch 2 launch. He'll show all of us.
It really needed the power of deep learning super sampling to get the detail on the alien skin.
There'll be a fucking ride at that Universal Nintendo thing that's just Pikmin 4. Like this is what I meant. You thought it was a game?
That's weird. I got on the ride and it dumped me out of the park.
God.
It just
I asked if it had a story, and Miyamoto came out and hit me.
a lady was trying to explain the ride to us and he started hitting her.
I just think about the last time we did this with that theme park where it's like, no menu, words, pictures only.
Yes, the eatery at the park just has pictures.
Now I'm just imagining it's a Miyamoto like animatronic that goes around.
It's like Robo Lincoln.
Yes.
It needs to look like his Muppet.
Oh my God.
All right, next up, Certain Affinity confirmed that 343 are entrusting them with further evolving Halo Infinite. My translation here is fixing their multiplayer because they had to spend so much time fixing the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah. It's really bizarre that the studio became Please Save Us.
Yeah, like I think it was the head over there or some of the key people there are the ones that did extra content for as far back as Halo 2.
Yes.
And created the first Halo matchmaking systems. So I'm like, oh,
That's interesting.
this some of this stuff makes sense because all that in Halo Infinite is terrible.
It seems like 343 is actually doing literally nothing.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like they lost people.
Well, they're working on the next campaign.
It sounds like they lost people involved with making the next campaign, even so. But, I'm going to choose to not think about it. I'm kind of frustrated this showed up in the news segment because as somebody who likes other Halo games, Infinite frustrates me. And the concept of which half are they fixing just frustrates me mentally. Because, it probably is the multiplayer. Probably. It would make sense.
Yeah.
But they also promised people co-op, so...
Yeah. Who knows? In other news that I didn't write down about Halo, I guess Master Chief Collection got a new mode or something.
Yeah, it adds that race, which is fucking weird.
Yeah, so they added
into that.
They added that, so on the Steam charts, it had a 24-hour peak that beat Infinite.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that for a fucking second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it the flood? They added the fucking flood to multiplayer.
Wait, playable?
Yeah, that's what the picture I looked at looked like, and I was like, "That's hilarious." One moment while I double check this.
Yeah, they added something because I saw.
Yeah, they added the flood to firefight.
Oh,
which
okay,
is
to
pretty
firefight.
Yeah, but that's pretty fucking hype.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. They should have been there to begin with.
I like how I only learned this because I see a thread pop up on Reset Era of Master Chief Collection overtakes Infinite's numbers. Someone's like, that's not fair. They added a big update to the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, that's not fair. They put any new things in that collection, and it's instantly more hype.
And you also think it's weird that the live service game isn't adding new things frequently?
No, it's okay. We're going to get those 2 new maps.
It's been out for over 6 months, hasn't it?
Yes, Season 2 got a trailer.
Oh my god.
I mean, I think it would be 5 months as of right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
multiplayer launched early.
Right.
Yeah.
It felt like a million years ago because time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, time is wonky.
Grandma's getting a new DLC. Grandma's been dead for 5 months, dude. Get over it.
Oh, okay.
That's good for certain affinity. That's good for people who really care about Infinite because they've done good work fixing up the fucking Master Chief Collection.
Yeah. Yeah, they can do their job well. Next up, Grim Grimoire Once More. Both of those are separately one word, was announced. This is a remaster of the Vanillaware PS2 game, Grim Grimoire. It's coming to PS4 and Switch July 28th to Japan.
I was really impressed by the trailer. You have no idea what that game is based on that trailer.
You're right.
Yes.
They did a masterful fucking job. I hope they trick people.
I was going to ask, has anyone else actually played that game?
I have.
Okay.
I have. It's bad, but honestly, they changed. They
Yeah.
changed Odin Sphere so fucking much. It became a whole new game.
And
Right.
So maybe they're chopping this into something approachable.
This is the Space Jam reach.
it looks like they're at least attempting it as they're doing a set of features that would remind me of it. They have the fast forwarding. They have mid-battle saves.
Thank God. The game needs fast forwarding more than anything else.
Yeah, both for dialogue and combat. They're adding the 4 great magic skills, which are like different great magics that you can use in battle. Apparently, you can use them like once per battle, or it's like something like that. And they're like big supers of different elements. And they're adding an entire skill tree to the game, and I'm like, oh god, this is getting way too close to Odin Sphere in terms of we're just layering actual mechanics on top of this.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna make this actually a video game because both Grim Grimoire and Odin Sphere and even kind of Muramasa was like, we made this this game that looks insane. We ran out after making the graphics.
Yeah, there's basically no gameplay in here.
Yeah.
And then Odin Sphere Leif Teaser or whatever the fuck is like, oh yeah, this is actually a video game and it's fine. So hopefully this one will like upgrade it to actually a video game. Sadly, I have to put on my clown makeup and buy it either way.
Yes.
I'm upset that we're getting this before we're getting Muramasa supported from the Vita.
Sorry, Bob. They would clearly have to do so much work.
Well, you know, for it, I mean, it makes sense to me because I'm sure Vanillaware is like, well, the Vita was successful in Japan, so people can already play it.
As I
They're
cry.
waiting on that Oh wait, no, the Sony thing is PSP emulation. Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was pretty good that it was just like all of the classic consoles, PS1, PS2, PS3, PSP, all of them.
You named all of them.
Dun, 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 dun.
God.
Dun, 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 dun.
But yeah, they're adding all that. They're rebalancing hard mode because of all of these things.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's neat. I will buy whatever they make because it's Vanillaware, and I have to reward them for being alive.
Let me be clear. I love Vanillaware. This is the one place they can go that I will not follow. I look forward to Bob buying it.
Weak.
No, I've played the original. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
If you won't step on the rake 4 times in a row, that means you don't have true strength.
You don't love me unless you shove the jar up your ass.
No!
I'm just standing here wearing the Pride Trooper uniform like Jiren with a clown nose.
I just thought it was weird. I didn't think it was bad because I didn't play enough of it.
I played enough to realize I didn't want to play any more than the first level.
I'm sure this one will be good.
Yeah, it's gonna look really nice.
Yeah, maybe this time.
Maybe.
Let me see here.
I think that's all the news this week.
All right, I was just checking to make sure I didn't hide anything below it. So last piece of news for this week, the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event happened this past weekend. And we got various different updates and reveals in it that they put in like an 8-minute trailer. The first one, Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, that is the game inside their mobile game, Union Cross, that is also a gacha game inside a gacha game. That died over a year ago, but its final update's coming in August, which is the rest of that story of Dark Road, which is the Xehanort prequel story. They did like 25% of that story, and then the game died, so we're actually waiting for like 75% of that game's planned plot.
Huh.
That's really funny.
They showed like 10 characters that I do not think were even shown in any update so far.
This feels like it should have just been a YouTube video instead of an update for this game.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know why.
Well, Bob, don't worry. That's the way 99% of people will experience this game story.
Yeah, that's
yes.
true.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just like, why are you even putting this in the game?
yeah, you really should just like premiere it.
Because people spent money, so it's like, well, we have to show.
Yeah.
We have to give it to them
For the players.
Power.
It's like it's like when Xseed finally did Trails in the Sky second chapter, like 9 years after the very initial attempt to do it on PSP. They're like, we're putting it on PSP in 2017 because people who bought it on the PSP deserve to see the second half.
Jesus. But yeah, we got that. We got that happening over in August. Then we got our first new announcement for Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. This is an iOS and Android game with a closed beta happening in fall. It's a 3D action RPG instead of a thing with sprites now. They work to make it so you can play it in vertical or horizontal screens, so whichever you prefer. It's got 6-player multiplayer, a lot of Kingdom Hearts 3 asset reuse. Features a traditional story mode and an AR walking mode where it's
that's weird.
Where they describe it, it's like Pokemon Go, but it's also weird because they show that you're in a spot and then your character can still like run through many areas.
I feel like they're just saying that because that's a popular game and they don't actually have any similarity to it.
Yeah, all I know is that in the interview, series director Tetsuya Nomura said, "I hate AR games. I want a normal story mode."
Huh.
So that's why that exists like that. It's a sequel to Union Cross, so it has the old Scarlet Kylum, which looks entirely different from Scarlet Kylum. Mm-hmm. And it's set between Union Cross and Dark Road, which I'm like, this is interesting in the fact that it is the presentation of Kingdom Hearts and not the way Union Cross looks, where it's like sprites and stuff. This is,
they can use assets from the games for this. Phones have progressed enough.
Yeah, and I like how they're like reusing assets from 3. I'm like, that's a bit fresh than what we usually get for this franchise. And all that looks neat.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I hope this runs on a MacBook.
Yeah.
Because I would like to play this game on a controller on a nice screen.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
Yeah, it's definitely gotcha. I like how you before it was medals on the screen for the Sprite game. Now they're like Smash Bros trophies. Where they're running in for the attack, and then a trophy of Cloud Strife is on one of them, or other characters, and Donald Duck.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Thankfully, you don't have to wait too long for the closed beta for it. They also said the team is about as big as one of their 3D console games.
That's kind of nutty.
Yeah.
Huh.
And last announcement, they closed with the reveal trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4. A game, its last numbered title came out 163 big things ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Big excitement. Trailer was in Unreal Engine 4 in real time, but they're transitioning to UE5, of course.
Yeah, I heard them talking about, like, it's in Unreal Engine 4 right now, but we're going to get it in 5. Mm-hmm. It's going to, what was it? The lighting and something else, fidelity, will be drastically higher, I believe is the way they phrased it.
Yeah, which, going by some of the stuff, that'd be amazing. It's got more of a realistic look, which through interviews now they've said it's because they're in that world, so that's the world where you look like that.
Yeah, Quadratum.
I was like, oh my god, it's like every other Kingdom Hearts ever made. Whoa.
Yeah, there are a lot of
it
people.
Is the biggest. It is the biggest wasted opportunity in video game history. If Lightning is not in this fucking world, it's like, no, this is where she went at the end of Lightning Returns. Like, you fucked up.
You could put her anywhere, and that's amazing.
Yes. Just put her on, like, a poster that he walks by like she became an idol or something. I don't care.
Yeah,
she just has to be somewhere.
Continue the arc of her doing ads for Louis Vuitton.
Yes.
And just put that in the game itself.
That would be pretty incredible.
But yeah, this realistic style at first made me go, oh, fuck. I was not expecting it to look, They tried to simulate this in 3's DLC, and all it did was we put skin pores all over Sora.
Yeah, it definitely stylistically looks a lot better than even this pre-rendered stuff for Pirates in 3.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was just insane to look at. I think it's really interesting. They opened the trailer with a specific building, and it's the building that they were doing the 20th anniversary event in.
Yes.
So that's why they zoom in and show you going up the building, because their attendees went through that an hour ago.
That did not work at all for people who weren't there.
Yeah, all I went was, okay, realistic city, whatever. You love doing long shots.
Yeah,
right. Of scenery.
They're showing off the fidelity, which it is really hi-fi.
Yeah,
like that. This looks ridiculous. The trailer is actually 30 frames per second. I wasn't able to find a higher res one or a higher frame rate one.
Yeah, all they have is the 1080p normal one, yeah.
Yeah, it looks locked perfectly to 30. I have to wonder if we're going back to that, because this fidelity is insane.
Yeah, the only way I see that is if they
they'll probably want to do ray tracing. Then it'll be like, here's a mode where it doesn't have that and runs at 60.
Yeah, I have to wonder.
Or some resolution light mode would be really appreciated.
Yeah, I feel like performance modes are just going to be standard going forward.
I am always aware of the possibility that we just backslide.
Oh yeah, I'm always afraid. I'm always afraid they'll take it away from me. But for now, this feels pretty great. We got to see a little bit of combat in this trailer when a dark side that actually looks cool just pops up and just starts picking up cars, and you start this gameplay with Sora shows off that the keychain now shoots out and extends to make a hook shot, and the new mechanic at the bottom of the command menu is called Build now, which they described as a destruction recreation mechanic.
Oh, so this is like Red Faction Armageddon.
Sora's gonna take his Keyblade and start banging a building and it'll fall down.
Oh, so you're saying it's not like that? It's more like God of War Ascension?
God, no.
Where you get to highlight something and deconstruct it or reconstruct it?
Oh, that would be terrible. No.
So this is my own brain disease, but I can't, like, seeing Sora's goofy fucking anime boy animations on this high fidelity model in this high fidelity area it just makes me like forcibly flashback to Dead Fantasy.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
Like
funny.
there's just something about it that's like, wow, this is like where his running looks so goofy.
because he has snaps and holds like anime animations.
Yeah.
But it's hyper realistic. And it's such an iconically Sora run cycle.
Yes.
Like
It's like his stupid jump.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they I felt so good watching this gameplay segment back a few times and going, I recognize all these animations. Like this is clearly, working on the stuff from Cage 3. And that feels great because, the last, when they first revealed Cage 3, or they first announced FF7 Remake, you get the fakest looking trailers ever, or stuff that runs at 3 FPS. And that's what you can tell is real. It was nice to see something running well with this series and the stuff they showed in gameplay. I'm like, I can believe that you have a build like this running.
I'm far less optimistic than that. I honestly, like, what I saw there didn't convince me that, oh yeah, this is actually anytime soon. It definitely feels like test gameplay. We made this little slice of auto playing thing because we don't even see regular combat. We see things that are QTEs.
Very scripted events.
Yeah,
But this is a normal practice in the game industry.
Yeah.
Like I feel like regardless of whether or not it's like something bootable and playable at these frame rates or whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't even saying that it was going to come out soon. I was just like, you're controlling this slice. You're not like, it's not a video type of thing. There are many aspects of that are repeated that I'm like, I can believe that. A lot of stuff's automated, and I'm not saying that that's not a thing of, the jumping, the running up and transitioning perfectly into a building that's falling.
Yeah. I already said my bit.
Yeah.
I'll think about this again in 3 years when they're like, it's out in 6 months.
Yeah. Personally, I do kind of expect 2025. If we get it in 2024, I'll be surprised. Just because there's no date on this. They didn't announce platforms because I don't think anyone wants to hear PS5 only right now, even though
Yeah,
Even if it's 4 years out.
like by the time this comes out, that'll be a
people
far
are
more
insane
normal.
right now.
Yeah.
People like to pretend that none of those consoles are in consumer hands at all. Like they want to pretend that some scalper has a warehouse with 25 million kids.
yes.
Yeah, those people do exist. So I totally get them not even announcing platforms.
Yeah.
I also get them not announcing a date. Do we think they'll put out as many trailers for this as they did 3? Because 3 had a ton.
No, that game was in development forever because it switched engines and shit. Like, no, of course not.
Like, how many trailers did 3 have by the end of that?
All right, let's see.
Because it had one per world easily.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, they had too many.
So you have the announcement in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the end of 2013 at a D23 Japan. They showed more footage there. That footage looked really bad. Then at TGS 2014, they counted this as a trailer. They drew 2 character silhouettes. Then 2015 got like 2 trailers that was really one, but they cut 10% and put it out 6 months later.
Oh.
Then one in 2017. Then like two in 2018, and then 18 million in
Yeah. Towards the end, they sure made a lot.
Yeah.
I hope we don't see that many.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see nearly as many.
I want to come to this game
unless Disney's like it's ours, so show them, make a bunch.
Sure, we need a trailer per Disney property.
Oh yeah, that 100% will happen. Because that's just
Here's the Huey, Dewey, and Louie trailer.
I mean, they love that shit.
Dude, I wanted to be like that because the last time it was that funny was the Winnie the Pooh trailer, and I'm like, this one just has Xehanort in it for like 2 minutes. Winnie the Pooh was here for a fifth at the start of the trailer.
Yeah, I want to come into this and be really surprised by the directions it takes and where I go. And I think the fewer trailers that happen, the more I'll be able to do that. I do think it's really cool that like they basically say Quadratum's the afterlife.
Yeah.
They said this is the equivalent of what you would call the afterlife.
Wow, you die and then Sora died and then went somewhere where he has to pay rent. I guess he went to hell.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, they were talking up in interviews like, yeah, there's a world where everyone thinks where Sora's from is fiction, and in vice versa.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw in this trailer. I am looking forward to when the game's further along. I currently, as I said, 2025 is kind of what I expect, but that's fine. Like, guys, we spent spent so long in development.
Yeah.
That it's exciting to get one that's, they did 3 on Unreal Engine 4. Unreal Engine 5, for people who aren't technical, is basically Unreal Engine 4.
Right.
You porting your stuff from 4 to 5 is much simpler than switching any other engine. It is nowhere near the same as like switching from the in-house engine to Unreal Engine 4. So it's very exciting
I have to assume when they switched, when they switched engines, I have to assume they basically restarted development.
Right, because they built a bunch of systems from the ground up on an engine that just didn't serve it, right?
Oh, yeah, they said straight out.
Yeah.
Like that's why I have more confidence in this, where it was they switched out engines for 3 over a year in.
Yeah.
They lost like a year and a half in all of their pre-production. And then they had to learn Unreal Engine 4 while making it.
Yeah. So this is possibly the most exciting thing. Because through all the other Kingdom Hearts, we see exactly what the matchup's going to be. We know exactly through Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
They spell it out, and it's like, it's happening. And then through all those trailers, they really spell it out. This, we don't fucking know. There are multiple portable titles leading into this one.
Yeah.
Yet.
All these mobile games.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I assume there will probably be a... God. Yeah, I assume there will probably be some sort of spinoff, because there's no way that they're just going to be like, no, nothing related to Kingdom Hearts will ever be on Switch that isn't a cloud version.
Could you imagine they do the Switch game that's the equivalent of the portable games of the past? They're like Switch 2 exclusive, and it's like, Nintendo, come on.
I expect that, but I don't expect it to be exclusive. I expect it's on everything, but it's we made something that can go on Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely would be more likely, I think. But I think the possibility exists that Nintendo wants an exclusive.
Yeah, the mobile games are already very explicitly in Force trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Like the girl he meets and presumably lives in this apartment with is a character that in the mobile games that very early on dies.
Yeah,
which really adds on to that entire thing. And the narrator at the end of the trailer, people were like, we can't recognize who this is, so we thought it might be that Master of Masters. It was not. And then we're like, we can't figure out, like, he won't say who it is. He's like, it's only someone you've seen. And then at the exhibit, they had a plaque of like a keyhole with a message from Nomura in it. But at the end, he put an X like in the middle, and we're like, oh, what are you doing? And he put out an interview with Famitsu. He said, no one's figured it out yet. So what you do is you take his message and you draw an X on it, and you use every letter that's taken out of that, and it just tells you who's narrating those trailers. He is a sociopath.
Who is a character that we have not seen the face of. He's wearing the Organization 13 coat with a Bloodborne hat on. Oh, yeah, that's what the character looks like.
Yeah, old Scarlet, Kyle, and people just look like weird Bloodborne pirates.
It was pretty good because I'm just following along with this Slayer stuff on Twitter via Shiba Yagato. She's like, I think it's Sigurd. Hours pass. It's him! Yeah! I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, this trailer looked great. Good to hear that it fucking Disney Square Enix will not leave Hercules alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I do think it's funny. It's like, we're going to hell.
This is great.
Maybe he's in hell.
That is really funny. It's like, Sora's dead. What do we do? Well, we know a guy.
I mean, to be fair, it's like, it's not really, it's Hades where everyone goes.
Right.
Like, that's not hell as we think of it in Christian mythology where bad people go. No, in mythology and Greek, everybody just dies and goes there.
It's really good because you can imagine Goofy and Donald in the gummy ship just being like, well, gosh, he just fucking died. Where do we go when we die? Donald just imagines his nephews. Oh, no, that's my hell.
And the last thing is people noticed in the 4 shots at the very top of the screen, there seemingly is an out of shot foot for an AT-ST from Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fucking hilarious.
And people circle and they're like, that's the exact same thing. It even has the latch right in the middle.
I mean that forest looks like fucking Endor.
It
so.
does. It seriously looked like Frostbite engine showcase for Star Wars.
I am shocked if that is the one pick they do. I'm like, this is a Nomura project. I feel like he picked like Geonosis.
Yeah, I don't.
Endor's hype. I don't know what you're talking about.
Endor is pretty hype.
Like that's a really cool location and a movie that's okay.
Well, really, we're talking about the forest moon of Endor, isn't that right?
That's true.
Yes, you're right.
The forest moon of Endor.
Actually,
I just did.
Now
that guy's halfway through his comment. He's like, "How did they know how I sound?"
I just don't want one of those Ewok things in my HUD.
oh god.
I do.
okay.
What's
So-
wrong?
Donald's gonna turn into an Ewok.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you
that's I
go.
will support
That would be really
Fucking
funny. That would be really funny, actually. Goofy being a Wookiee would also be really funny.
Anyway, you were saying
Now, do you think that like Nomura was just like, can we use Star Wars? No. Can we use Star Wars? No. Can we use Star Wars? No. And then Fallen Order sold like 6 million copies, and it's like, can we use Star Wars? Yeah, fucking go ahead.
Gamers like Star Wars. We didn't even know.
It was a mystery.
and they're like,
It turns out when we don't have EA make the worst fucking shooter in the world that ships broken and has to be fixed over the course of 18 months, people buy and get excited for our game.
Broken and exploitative.
Ooh.
yeah, it escaping EA's clutches, I feel like just locked it in perfectly. Where it's like, we can pitch this and it's okay. And our last game, according to reports now, has sold 7 million copies. So I hope that we can get a yes on this.
I need more than anything I've ever needed something is for Palpatine to just be in Kingdom Hearts. like I'm sorry, especially since it'll be Sam Witwer doing his voice, which would be really funny.
But that's okay, because Sora's face in that world is going to look like Sam Witwer's real face.
God.
Why would he look like Sam Witwer?
Well, because his appearance changes per world, so we need to give him a different appearance in this world, and Sora in Star Wars would apparently just look like that.
would look like Deacon St. John.
Yes!
I was trying to imagine post-game bosses for this game, and I'm like, what if they just do Kylo Ren just cuz?
That would be cool.
Just the idea of people going,
They could do
"It's not
any like
Darth
big Star
Vader!"
Wars guy.
Yeah, you get Kylo Ren and fucking Sephiroth hanging out.
yeah, Darth Vader would beat Sora's fucking ass.
Yeah.
You played Force Unleashed.
Did you see fucking Fallen Order where where the fight is him shutting you down?
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. So I'm just at this moment of like, can Vader be mobile enough? Does he have air dashes?
You know, just like Fallen Order, he just walks towards you and everything collapses around you as he tries to crush you.
Yeah, they don't have to make him fast. He can pull you to him.
And the only other stray thing that comes to mind is they confirmed that reaction commands are coming back, since a lot of fans miss those
Cool.
in terms of 3.
That's way better than attractions.
Yeah, attractions need to go and
Yes,
die.
Yeah, the reaction commands are cool.
Attractions had the problem where it's like they were random, weren't they? Were they just entirely random?
A little
or was
thing,
there some archaic mechanic that I don't understand?
they were random, but a little icon appears on an enemy, and then you hit them once, and then it gives it to you.
And it goes, here, you want the teacups? And I go, yes.
And then they'll put one on a boss, and it's like, I'm doing the merry-go-round while fighting 3 Xehanorts.
It's doing no damage.
See, I didn't like. Well, see, the thing that happened with me was I got it during the Dark Aqua fight. I got the boat.
Yes.
and it just ruined her life.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm like, well, I would have liked to see that boss fight. Could you not give me things that just entirely negate the boss fight? Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that felt like they just kept it in out of obligation, where they showed it way too early and went, well, we're still using it. We showed it.
Yeah, that's the problem with showing stuff really early in development. That's why I kind of like these things that are announced really close to releasing.
Yeah.
See, this is why you need to be more like Blizzard in this one specific way. Where with World of Warcraft, they would just show tons of shit for the new expansion and be like, yeah, all that got cut. Sorry. So it'd be like they would show like flying around an area. Yeah, that area got cut. They show a dungeon. Yeah, that dungeon got cut. Show a PvP area. Oh, yeah, that got cut.
Oh my god!
Holy!
I don't think the Kingdom Hearts fan base would deal with that well.
No.
If you go watch like history of WoW videos, it's like, wow, they cut so much shit from every expansion and they just showed it to people and then removed it.
That's funny as hell.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I'm super pumped for reaction commands to come back. I preferred that a lot more because there's the mix of set piece design ones, like that thing at the end with the drill. They just said as a reaction command.
Yeah,
it just does a red dot there because they're not confirming platforms yet. It's just going to be like a button or whatever. But
Stadia exclusive.
Ooh, get optional missions like the Stadia exclusive content that's still on Final Fantasy 15 Stadia. God,
what a perfect coffin.
Honestly, yeah. Hover card crazy taxi. Thank you. Yeah, I loved reaction commands because it's a mix of doing set piece ones, but random ones you can do on almost every single enemy in the game that had custom animations in Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's like you get them in a certain way and you can do this to like finish them quickly or do some other lavish thing. So it really enhanced combat for me. So I'm glad that that's coming back. Also, those attractions are really bad. That's why they gave you an ability that's like, it turns them off.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, that did not come at launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was only a part of the critical mode where they're like, we'll buff your other things that are the core combat. Disables attractions.
God.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm just... I feel like this trailer didn't hype me at all.
Why is that?
It doesn't tell me anything new because the presumption was we were getting Kingdom Hearts 4. Like
Yeah.
Everyone would just assume that next.
Right.
We knew that this would be in a big realistic city because that's where Remind and 3's super secret ending showed.
Yeah.
Sora fights an enemy I've seen before. There's nothing new that way. Their big teaser at the end is another guy in a Organization 13 cloak. I've been seeing these for over 15 years. They are no longer cool.
They're very cool. They're very 2007 cool, Bob.
I was talking to Dad about this. It's like if the new Bleach chapter came out last month or like last year. And their big reveal was a holo came back. I'm like, I need new stuff. It needs to really blow me away was actually new.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of see where you're coming from, where, you know, they are leaning on things you think of, right?
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful this will be markedly different from 3 at least, because I think 2 is interestingly different from 1 in how it works. And 3 isn't that, like, the way it doesn't integrate the story, I feel, very well into each of the worlds.
No, not at all.
Kind of makes me like a little disappointed in its structure. I think this is going to be more interesting in its structure, and it already intrinsically is because Donald and Goofy are in Hades while you're in a fucking Shibuya.
Yeah.
But not totally Shibuya. Very important to say that.
Yes.
He had to be like, this doesn't actually have anything to do with the
I
world.
like how he said,
so don't start like having conspiracy theories.
it's not connected to Twooey or Stranger Paradise.
He had to be very clear on that.
I don't know why you would have said Stranger Paradise. I was like, no, well,
apparently a shit ton of people in like Japanese social media kept saying it. Apparently there's a popular like Kingdom Hearts like person, like YouTuber or something over there.
Wow, even they have them. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
of course.
that checks out.
Yep.
I still really think that the structure of Kingdom Hearts, narrative structure of Kingdom Hearts 3 and Dream Drop Distance also is on Disney. Them saying, no, you can't have things that matter happen in Disney worlds.
It could be, yeah.
Because nothing happens in Disney worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, Larcene shows up and is like, I could fight you, like in all the previous games where you fought Organization 13 members in Disney worlds. Instead, I'm going to trap you in my giant ice prison and leave.
Yeah.
So, hopefully, either one, Disney got the stick out of their ass, big wish.
Yeah.
Or two, they went, we'll have more non-Disney worlds where plots can happen like at different stages of the game.
That would
instead of everybody having to get on the Dragon Ball Z plot resolution bus at the end of the game.
Yeah, 3 is really rough, where there's the only thing that's like unique to Kingdom Hearts universe area-wise is the final area, right? The Keyblade Graveyard?
Yeah, we see a little bit of Twilight Town we never saw before.
Like in terms of new?
I mean, you get Scarlet Kylan, but...
Yeah, but everything's related to the very end of the game.
Not for real.
Yeah.
Until the DLC.
Yeah, and it does. Yeah, I think all of it is just the very, very end of the game. The rest is Disney worlds, I think. Except for that one.
That
God, what the fuck is the name of it?
What?
You go to the town in order to get...
Twilight Town.
Yeah, thank you.
Twilight Town.
I was like, it's another TT. It's not Traverse.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Twilight Town because I was so small.
It was weird. It was weird because it's like, go to the forest. Where's the forest? Through the sewer. And I'm like, what? This is how you live? But yeah, I think that's it. It's Twilight Town and then the very end of the game. I think that's it for 3. But I'm hopeful that either Disney removed the stick from their ass, or maybe we have an engine that's working in the first place and can maybe better integrate the story as we go along making the content. Mm-hmm. Maybe that could work better. I don't know. It could be either, and I'm trying to be optimistic.
Also, not having to resolve the cast of 4 games storylines.
Yeah. Is it only 4?
In one ending sequence.
Group.
Well, let's see. It's Naminé. it's Naminé and the replica.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Birth by Sleep characters. It's the Days characters. And then they just have Mickey Mouse help you fight Larcene and Marluxia for no fucking reason. It's like that's the weird one.
That's the view closure for the main cast, totally.
Mickey Mouse got the closure of being briefly trapped inside a card.
Yes.
But yeah. So because it doesn't have to do that, because this isn't the game that they've been pointing at for God, how long was it since 2?
2006.
16 years. I'd give them a little bit more rope and be like Birth by Sleep, which was still 2008. So it was still 11 years minimum.
Yeah, so 13, 11 years. They're not making the game that they've been pointing at for 13 or 11 years.
Right.
So I think that gives them a lot of ability to do different things here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that they'd saved all this, did a bigger trailer that let me, showed off a world, like we're talking about Star Wars, but it was a tiny little piece that we weren't supposed to see.
Well,
basically.
But this is Kingdom Hearts marketing.
But yeah, if they just didn't do this, it'd be way hyper if a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer played in the middle of some other event.
And it was absolutely massive.
Yeah, it was massive, showed new stuff, and was like, oh, this is a moment.
I think we got more out of this than we did the first Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, though.
Yeah, that's why I'm so hype about it, because I was there.
Because
right, but Kingdom Hearts 3 gets a different kind of buff because we had years and years of
pointing at the spot that it's 3-shaped in a box.
Yeah, so when they finally said we're doing it, that's exciting. Everybody knows 4 is coming. Not that exciting.
I understand. Like I get Bob's point, but and it sucks that this is just how marketing works now, where it's like we do the "you knew this was coming" event for the super fans, and then like a year before the game comes out, we try to market it to normal people.
I think this being the very first trailer, I'm not disappointed because it's not some really bare bones gameplay stuff like the highly pre-rendered gameplay for 3 was. Like it's got some story stuff. It's got new locations. It's got mechanics like the hook shot and also bringing back do combo. So there's something there for me, and also the Goofy and Donald, not being with Sora, them being in Hades. There's stuff here for me that at least lets me go, okay, this is a direction you're kind of going in. I'm pretty interested in that. I'm excited for the next trailer reservedly, right? That's kind of how I feel about this, where I think there's a lot of positive things in it. I think if they did something even close to what Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer was, I would be openly annoyed. I would be very loudly annoyed of, thank you for showing Sora running and Heartless.
Yeah, I'm just glad they announced it here. It was the 20th anniversary event, and it was really cool that, they celebrated it with like some really cool reveals that they've been working on.
I am happy they announced it, and it wasn't a logo.
It's a good new logo, by the way. New font.
Or, like, I'm happy it was here, and it wasn't like, here's the 20th. Because it feels like that this is the weird one out. Where normally at these anniversary events, it's like, you get a mobile game and a perfume. Fuck you. Go away.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't actually care about these events.
Anniversary events are normalized as bad. Like, not something you should actually be excited for. Don't look forward to it.
So they bucked the trend a little bit. Maybe companies are learning that that's actually free marketing when you do that, and you shouldn't not even mention it anywhere.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing to do of like, here's your 3 trailers all in one big video. There's 2 things that no one would ever want to see, and then Kingdom Hearts 4.
It is interesting because I feel like you'd get a lot more casual fans interested if Kingdom Hearts 4 was its own separate trailer at that moment. But
yeah.
But it was building up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to ruse you.
They did in 2020. They call it their it's their update vlogs, where they're like, here's everything we're doing in one giant thing.
How weird.
You want to know one way this does frustrate me?
What's that?
If this follows the path of other Kingdom Hearts stuff, which I expect it to, we're not going to get that English dub trailer, are we?
Oh.
No, probably not.
Yeah, that's...
They're like, no, Haley Joel Osment's an asshole. He will not show up every 2 months to record more.
Yeah, I understand why that is. There's a world of difference between Japan and America and getting some lines for a trailer in Japan.
Yeah.
Send him a mix pre and a microphone.
There's no way.
Those dub box rooms.
Guys, we don't want Kingdom Hearts to sound like it has bad audio quality.
We definitely don't want to do that. Shout out to Terra Birth by Sleep. He appeared in Kingdom Hearts 3's DLC with a peaking headset microphone. I watched someone else play through it again and said, pay close attention to him, and they died.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is really funny.
Like I think he fucking lives in Los Angeles. Just call him in. He doesn't have anywhere else to be.
Yeah, I know. There's like 100 studios that you can do that with.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's real busy fucking voicing what the fuck is this? Cash D. Langford in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous.
What? Okay, I'm just ignoring that and moving right on.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. I was glad that they announced that. They also, put out this giant art piece that had all the characters in it and portraits of Sora counting up to 4. That was neat.
Yeah.
But that's all the news we have. I was reminded that that Jurassic World movie is coming out.
Yeah.
And the director
don't talk about it.
The director, Colin Trevorrow, made the statement that Giga, their super dinosaur, is like their Joker. What does that mean?
It means it's a bad guy and his brain doesn't work.
Yeah, that's all it really means.
That is literally what it means.
God.
But what if it talked?
If I see a dinosaur
that's
on
the moment
screen,
where like
say, why so serious? Then that's my movie of the year. I don't care how the rest of it goes.
Yeah, if the dinosaur can talk and has some nefarious plan, then that will be the best Jurassic Park movie since the first one.
You know the worst problem,
they did
Bum?
this. That's a critic bit. It's already a critic bit.
Into that. They literally made the joke of the critic.
Don't worry, we'll cut this part out and do it again. All right, now Dan, speak.
He doesn't act anymore. He's on cruise control. Bob and I are gonna play Mega Man Legends 2, and then I don't even know. Okay, so what do you got going on?
I don't know. I gotta stream some game. I don't even know what it is. I'm living on the day-to-day, the melting, the feel.
Yeah, Phil, what do you know?
That work.
Okay,
A whole house.
I'm gonna go to Whataburger. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support us, head on over to www.patreon.com/gbpodcast, where you can get extra podcasts and early access to our anime podcast, Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool. Head on over there and become a $5 backer or podlord today. This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by the continued support of our executive producers, such as Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, Burning Pepsi Man, Adam Admar, Cooper Tank, and Virmvarm. Thank you very much to our executive producers, and also these gamers. If you want to support GigaBoots so we can continue the content crunch, then head on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots today.